All right, kids, hit play on your CLDD50 fun because it's the LaserDisc Wolfpack THX CAV Special Limited Edition podcast. I am Sam Culture Dog Hatch, and the man I'm going to pass it along to just earlier tonight survived a cultist attack, defeated psychedelic bikers from hell, freed a tiger, mastered telepathic intense stare downs, ate a crap ton of cheddar goblin, and much, much more. Ryan Cushing.
Thanks, Sam, for that sweet intro. I also had Little Caesars, the official pizza of the Wolfpack podcast. Passing it off to Sam. Or Seth. I don't know what I'm doing.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be back. And off to the other side of the world, to Los Angeles. Hey, Maxeene, how are you doing?
Maxeene, the LaserDisc Queen, back in town. Wasn't here for Bond, but I'm here for this one.
Oh, yeah.
This a good one. So, pass it to Peter.
Hello, everyone. I just want to make sure I get a shout out to the new hardware sensation, the RetroScaler 2X. This thing is way better than the eval board. And now we go on to the highest of the highbrow, my man Vinny.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me. I like the 5.0 fun. Maybe if they called it that, they'd still be around.
Right.
The only thing that can bring me back to the podcast is something remotely associated with highbrow. And when you're Francis Coppola's nephew, you're highbrow. So I'm here for Nick Cage, basically, and you guys, and Maxeene. Take it away, Sam.
Yeah, spoiler alert, we are going to delve into the filmography of one Nicolas Cage, a.k.a. what's his name, Nicholas Kim Coppola. And we're going to tear into this stuff because he has quite a storied career and has been featured on plenty of Laserdiscs. So sadly, Mandy is not one of them, but we're going to be sorrowful and just power right through. And we're going to do some top fives. But don't worry, after these are done, that won't be the last of Nick Cage. He's going to be reappearing throughout probably our pickups and our recent spins as well. So get ready. All right, I'm going to do my top five. Number 5. I had a very tough time kind of coming up with a choice. And every time I did, I just kept coming up Snake Eyes. Number 5 is De Palma Snake Eyes. I've got multiple copies of this, though the American copy wins this time because, I mean, come on. Look at that. I mean, the Japanese one's okay and is somewhat classy, but...
Where's the Obi?
No Obi. But look at this.
Trash.
100 times better. And it just says Cage, Snake Eyes. Like, it's so much more kick-ass, and it's got all that purple and everything like that, so... I'm gonna trash this one. So
throw it in the litter box.
They were selling it based on his name. You didn't even need to know what the movie was by this point.
No.
Yeah, I think that one looks a little bit better than the US one, but screw it. Both have Dolby Digital, and it's fantastic. But anyways, this film's a hot mess, but not as much as a hot mess as most Brian De Palma films. Not as good as Mission Impossible, obviously, but it's got a killer Ryuichi Sakamoto score, and you could see who the villain was from the trailer. It was completely obvious and telegraphed, but that's not really what matters. It's just, in fact, the story and the characters don't really even matter that much. It's just all about it's an excuse like David Fincher's Panic Room to abuse cool camera moves and kind of play with the Rashomon-like multiple viewpoints of different characters, and it's essentially a murder mystery at an Atlantic City boxing event. And it kind of falls apart at the end, but it's still my number 5 because it's got mood and it's fun. It's just a lot of fun. He plays a corrupt cop, by the way, so Really interesting role, and he's completely eating up the scenery, as he does in number 4, Face Touch, which is also known as Face Off. I call it Face Touch because when he talks to John Travolta's daughter, when he's wearing John Travolta's face, he touches her face all the time. I don't know what that is, but it also features a great scene where he cleverly says the name of the movie, Face Off. Like, it's great, but it's cool because you get to see Cage playing 2 different characters. You get to see him playing himself, the crazy ass Castor Troy, who is so insane in the first like 5 minutes. He's like grabbing nuns and screaming, and like it's like if you're expecting a normal movie, like just walk out of the theater at that point. But then he turns into John Travolta, and steals his life, and it gets all creepy and stuff. And it's John Woo, so how can you not love it? Number 3 is John Dahl's Red Rock West, which sadly is not letterboxed, but I had to deal with it. Yeah, he did this movie after a movie no one's ever heard of and you'll never hear about again called Kill Me Again. Spoiler alert. And this was right before he did the fantastic one with Linda Fiorentino and Bill Pullman there, which, of course, the name escapes me at the moment. But Red Rock West is cool. It's like a cowboy noir film. Nicolas Cage plays this guy who's down on his luck, and he's trying to get a job, but he keeps lying to, foremen about, or he doesn't want to lie to foremen about his bum knee. And so he's, forced to go on the road, and then runs across J.T. Walsh, who's this bar owner who mistakes him for a Texan hitman who's going to kill Lara Flynn Boyle, who plays his wife. And then all of a sudden enrolls the real hitman, played by Dennis Hopper. And it's nuts. One of the best scenes in it is when Nick Cage is trapped on top of a bar, and he can't get away because there's, the evil corrupt cop and the evil hitman are trying to find him. So he gets a 2x4 and it puts it between the building and a truck, and he kind of runs across it, and then hijacks, takes a ride in this truck, and then knocks on the window. And Dwight Yoakam is the guy driving the car, and he's just like, I'm allergic to bullshit, and pulls out his gun. And this just has this fantastic scene. Like, everything that can go wrong for this dude goes wrong for this dude. And it's fun. It's great, even though it's just 4-3. But what are you going to do?
Full immersion.
Full immersion, baby. Number 2.
Is it a scope film to start with, or is it one?
No, it's not. It's only, but all right, but here we go. You open Matt Dorks. If you go and you zoom that, I was messing around.
It's going to be perfect.
It's absolutely not going to be perfect. There was one shot within the first 15 minutes where it cuts Nicolas Cage's eyes in half. If you go and zoom in on it, so it has been adjusted to fit your television. Sadly,
no.
Sorry. Number 2 should be no surprise. Raising Arizona. Again, it's something that plays better if you see it with a large group of people. It's even funnier, but it's still an enjoyable film by yourself at 10 o'clock at night. Great supporting cast as well, so it's not just Nicolas Cage stealing the show, but he comes pretty damn close to it. But I'm not going to delve into the plot too much because I'm sure everyone's seen it, and someone else might be talking about this at some point, so I don't want to steal all the thunder. But this is a beautiful letterbox copy that came out in 1996 and looks pretty damn fantastic. So also 1.85 to 1, so nothing super scope. And number 1, we're going to mix it up and do Barbara Schroeder's Kiss of Death. I am a huge fan of this film. It's another neo-noir film. It's a remake, but David Caruso is this guy. He's got all the crap happening to him. Like, everything keeps falling apart for him. And he plays Little Junior. Nick Cage plays Little Junior, this crazed strip club owner and criminal mastermind who has a problem with putting metal in his mouth and can't deal with forks in his mouth and things like that. And he's really cool and into making acronyms about his life, because he's into was it BAD, balls, attitude, and direction. He's just fantastic in it. Samuel L. Jackson's in it great. He got shot in the eye or something, and he can't stop crying. So he's really pissed off the whole movie. And it's just so much fun. It's really intense, and David Caruso gets put through the ringer. Yeah, he's trying to do good, but he can't. And Little Junior is just a total psychopath. So
is that semi-late?
No, 96. This is like 96.
96?
Yeah. And it's a nice nice widescreen release from Foxy Fox. So there you go. And then my number one, we're gonna pass it on to my main man Ryan. What do you got?
So I've tried this entire time to not repeat a film, and unfortunately, I'm gonna have to.
Oh no! Did I steal one of yours?
No. Like I tried not to repeat a film that I've already talked about on
yes.
this or been in a list, but sometimes you just gotta bring out the big guns and
Nice.
Bringing Out the Dead, number 5. I just love this. It's Scorsese, which gives it highbrow automatically. It's got a great soundtrack, and I mean it's just great. If you haven't seen it, find it, watch it on. I think they have Blu-rays now.
I've heard of these
unless
things.
you're
I
Maxeene.
don't know about those. What are those?
It's also on the DVD.
Let's not slum it. But and then it's also the last U.S. Released.
Oh, that's coincidence.
Kind of the end. But so great film, and definitely worth checking out. Number 4.
Oh.
I think we're all gonna. I hope not, but we'll see. I don't want to spoil it, but this one is gonna show up a lot. What can't you say? Cage is just. I mean, this is early for him. What was this? 88, 87? Like
87, I think.
Yeah, so he was really just starting to get on the drugs or figure out how to channel them. I'm not sure what, but it's just wacky and fun, and it's fun for the whole family.
Nice.
Or whatever family you choose to make.
Take.
Exactly. Or take, yeah.
Number 3, Con Air. I love this movie. This is one of those batshit crazy movies. Like, this could never actually happen, but the way that it just keeps going and keeps you just locked in, and then it got a DTS release, so you can't go wrong with that. And Cage has got the long hair, the long flowing locks.
Super mullet.
Oh, it's beautiful, and he's got the great accent, and he really plays up his life as a criminal, and it's just good.
And the other people in it are okay too.
Oh, it's a great cast all the way through. Like the whole cast is just Number 2, I actually watched this one again recently. I love this movie. It's extremely depressing. It is not for everyone, but man, does Cage really sell it. And even Elizabeth Shue is great in it. Just the way that he spirals and just continues to hold it together and spiral. Like I mean, if you didn't know any better, you'd think that he was actually living that, because it's just brutally realistic. And number 1, another repeat. I'm sorry, guys, but
nice.
It's just the best Cage movie on LaserDisc by far. And I mean, you got everything here, and I could talk about this the whole time. And I expect everyone in LaserDisc Forever and YouTube Land to be watching this in the next week if you didn't the last time,
or the time before,
But man, and you've got your choice. You've got your highbrow version or your DTS version. I mean, you can't go wrong. Yep. And then there's also an AC3 mix if you want to slum it, but not at all. So just right there. So that's my top 5.
All right.
I'm sending it off to Seth.
Yeah. So I actually watched this one just today, and it's already been on. It was Touch Face.
Excellent.
Was it Face Touch? I don't
Face
know.
Touch. Yeah.
Face Touch. Yeah. So I was thinking, rewatch it or not. So I was thinking it was going to be worse, but it was pretty okay. The only thing that kind of bugged me is it feels like John Woo has some sort of bags of tricks that he keeps doing, or he borrowed a lot from the killer, because there's doves here. There's a overuse.
Oh, he does
of slow
doves
motion
all the time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And overuse of slow motion. But the concept is weird.
You say it as if it's a bad thing.
I hate slow motion. I really do.
Oh, I didn't know this about you.
You should skip every John Woo film. Then.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think it works in them. It works great in The Killer and Hard Boil, but in this one, it feels sort of like it's taking his, it's stuff he does in Hong Kong over to the US. So I'm going to check out the other one with Travolta and Slater.
That's not as good as Face Off. Sorry.
Yeah, but
Broken
Broken Arrow, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, so if that's got his same old gimmicks, if he's doing them.
If
It
you
does.
take slow-mo out of Hard Target, it's a 16-minute film.
It's true.
All right, so moving on to the next one. So am I spoiling this? So yes, it's been on before. This
Nice.
is the proper way to watch it. This got AC3, so DTS isn't necessarily Dolby Digital. It has a higher, not a bit higher bit rate, but it has a higher frequency. Not frequency, like.
You're just making stuff up.
Yeah, I know. None of that is accurate.
Sample rate. The sample rate is higher. It's 48 here. DTS is 44. Come on. No. I saw this. I don't like Michael Bay at all. And this is the only film I like with Michael Bay. And Cage is sort of like toned down here, I think. But there's one scene here that we all can relate to. Stanley Ipkiss is in the office and he's get an LP mailer. He tears it up and he says, "These sound better." And he has to convince his buddy that, why he's doing this. And he's buying into the office to hide it from his wife, right? And we've all done that. At least I've done it. So we can all relate to Stanley Ipkiss tearing up that LP mailer and the bubble wrap. And also, I'm thinking that Cage has had some debts, and I'm guessing he's probably collecting like Superman magazines for millions of dollars and stuff. So he's probably, I think that part was Cage added that LP collecting thing to the character, I think. But yeah, moving on to number 4. So this one, I saw this this week on a different format, which I regret.
Excellent.
I wouldn't say that this is a very good David Lynch film, but it's
I would.
Yeah, I would. What's your problem? Get out of here.
Ryan's picking highbrow movies. Seth is dissing David Lynch.
I know. What's going on?
Water.
I love David Lynch, but I think this is okay. This is not one of his best. I like Blue Velvet better. I like.
What's the problem? It has a coherent story and you can understand it?
And it's got him doing high kicks to metal songs, and it's awesome.
All of that.
He's singing in it.
Yeah,
he's singing it. Yeah, all those things. But overall, I didn't enjoy the film that much. So I didn't watch this LaserDisc in full. I watched this piece of crap here, like a Nordic Blu-ray, and they screwed up the DTS mix. So it's all front channels are filled with dialogue. It sounds like crap. So I did try. Yeah, I don't know if it's real, but then I tried out this one. It's got a chroma noise and stuff, but the sounds really good.
It is letterboxed, right? Or there is a letterboxed one, right?
Yeah, this one is letterboxed.
Yeah, I've never seen that sticker. That's a weird sticker.
Yeah, it's from Japan. They usually put letterbox on things that are for some reason. I
always avoided that because it looked super pan and scanny without knowing the sticker.
And image entertainment is usually a sign of pan and scan too. But the format
whoa.
It filled my 235 screen almost perfectly. So either it was so it wasn't like one of those 222 or sort
faking it. Yep.
Yeah, faking it. Yeah. This film has one scene which is altered slightly. I don't know if you guys knows about it.
Is this the face and when he?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So they added some smoke there, and I looked it up. The Japanese version has the unaltered version, which was available in Europe. All Blu-rays have the altered version. So if you want to see it on LaserDisc, it's a Japanese. There's a French one. I don't know, might be, but I've heard the Japanese has a bad transfer. So.
No.
It is the first film I ever saw someone walk out of. So very mind-blowing. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not very politically correct, but there's a fantastic scene where he just kind of has an encounter with some tough guys, and amazing.
and then they put up a prosthetic that I believe is really badly made just because, and that's the fun. So I would say it's not the best, but it's not the worst David Lynch film either. So
that's a poster quote for you.
So moving on to number 2. Yes, Leaving Las Vegas. So I have a bit of a personal story about this. A couple of years ago, I taped when this was new. I taped this off cable, and I was at my dad's house. We started watching it, and he had just gone through a divorce, and he said, like, I don't want to watch this. So, and then I
don't watch the movie with any of your parents.
No. So and at that point it's like, oh man, Dad, why are you so sensitive? That's what I thought. And then rewatching it at being in my nearing in my 40s, yes, I could see that, especially after going through a divorce, seeing someone that wants to drink himself to death. Who would want that?
You were mean when you were younger.
Yes, I was very mean.
Suck it up, Dad.
But as Ryan said, it is brutal. I think Cage was actually drunk in one scene here, when he flips a table. He was drunk in real, and the director got really mad at him for doing that. Strange, this director sort of went away.
Yeah, Mike Figgis.
Figgis, yeah.
He was one of the early proponents of digital. He shot a film fully digital, I think.
Okay.
Time Code is amazing.
Time Code, yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
And didn't he do the score as well of this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And they like ran and just kind of did a run and gun on the streets with no permits and stuff. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And there was one scene with, I think, was Elizabeth Shue's test scenes, which they threw into the film, which is sort of like her talking about this, and those scenes are really, really good.
Those are just wardrobe tests.
Yeah, wardrobe tests. Yeah, amazing. And then a film that I saw pretty early on, it's been on the podcast already. I saw this really young age, and I loved it. And it's even, it's very warming. Still, it has a subject which is it's a tough subject about childlessness. It deals with that, and is it Holly Hunter, right? Yeah, it's Holly Hunter plays the police officer there, and all of those scenes. There's like a montage of him coming in and doing the mugshots. Amazing. And then we have John Goodman in the backup cast there, and also this film was. The cinematographer from this film is Barry Sonnenfeld.
Yep.
He went on to do Addams Family, the Men in Black films, and Wild Wild West, which is a really good Nate release. No, but I think the cameras here is. I'm thinking French films like Jean-Pierre Jeunet. Sort of like the in-your-face angles. Yeah. Really cool stuff. Really goofy stuff. But I really enjoy this film, and I'm so glad that I got the widescreen release, and now I'm Coen Brothers Complete on LaserDisc from Yeah, and I both got the Japanese and the US version of Blood Simple, so I got like both cuts and all of the widescreen ones. So yeah, it's this is the D-waving contest. That's what our podcast is called, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. Over to Maxine. What Cage films do you have?
Well, I love Nicolas Cage, so this was extremely hard to
it was.
Get down to all of these. But number 5 is Face Off.
Nice.
I love John Travolta. I love John Travolta. I used to watch Grease all the time as a kid, and then seeing this, I just love it. I love it. I mean, not much I can add to that. What that's all been said. So. Number 4 is Vampire's Kiss, because this is by far the most outrageous Nicolas Cage you're going to probably get on LaserDisc. He goes batshit, literally batshit crazy. So, yeah. If you've never seen this, please see this, because this is hilarious and fantastic and very worth the craziness that ensues. Number 3, Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
I love Snake Eyes. This is great. I love like mystery things and the whodunits, and this totally checks a lot of those boxes. I love how it's shot. I love I love the perspectives of things. I love that it's Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah,
I
buddy.
love like so much about that, and it's that one's really good too.
It's got energy.
It does. It really does.
Yep.
So number 2, by far, it's Wild at Heart.
Excellent.
Love David Lynch. Love all the Twin Peaks vibes. This has lots of Twin Peaks vibes.
Yeah, because it came out like simultaneously.
I mean, this is so good. He's so good in this. I also really tried to pick like my list where he really shined in every single one of them. Because like there's lots where he's in it where he's supporting, and that's important, and like that's great, but like I really feel like he is the main thing you're watching in this, even though she is incredible in this. You're watching him, and when he's singing to her, it just warms my heart. Love it. And I love him in the snakeskin jacket.
Do you know the quote?
The snakeskin jacket quote?
Yeah.
it's unique to my personality and
Yeah, it's a sign of my my belief in individuality in my
a
personality.
symbol of my unique personality.
Yeah.
Plus, you get to see them again in Industrial Symphony.
Yes,
you-
I know. Oh.
You punk. Stealing all my thunder.
So number 1 is the film among films, Valley Girl.
Is that movie in 3D?
Story of my life. That's the scene that like starts the whole film. They have it on the radio. Like, I've seen this hundreds of times. I saw this in 35 millimeter, and I met the actress who plays Stacy, and I met Josie Cotton there. I met I met so many people. I met E.G. Daly, who plays Lauren. I just I love this film. I love Nick Cage in this film. Him at the beach is literally, whew, so good.
That's a classic.
It's just like the whole film is just very like of that era. And oh my God, I love the parents. I love the parents. Julie comes home late. Well, I guess it's early because it's like the morning time, and the mom's like doing yoga, but she's like just wearing a dress and like tights, and she's got her like legs over her head, and she's like, "Dear, you're allowed to stay out all night." It's just like, oh my gosh, this movie is endlessly quotable. It's so good.
It taught me how to say tripendicular, I think. That's probably where I learned it.
Me with the spoon. Yeah, oh my gosh.
And the soundtrack.
I can do, yes, the soundtrack. Oh, the Plimsolls and just everybody on that soundtrack is so good. It's so good. I have the soundtrack cassette. I rock that one a lot.
Nice.
It's impossible to find on vinyl for some reason. And if you did, like, I think there's only like the US vinyl soundtrack. It's like half of the actual soundtrack. Like it's not even all the songs. So
that's weak.
Pass on that. It's too expensive anyway. But yeah, great
Nice.
film. If no one's seen this, that's Nick Cage, his first feature film also. And
Excellent choices.
Yes, thank you. I'll pass it to Peter.
Right, guys. I think I might have one unique one because everyone's stealing the thunder here. So my number 5 was Con Air.
Yes.
Jerry Bruckheimer, my favorite highbrow director.
He's a
producer.
Whatever. Plus, it's got 48 or 44 kilobits DTS. I don't know. Seth says it's good. And Sam, this is the way you do it. This is Snake Eyes with the proper OBs, so you get the extra lines of resolution.
Still not as cool as the American cover, though.
And you can add a line doubler.
I literally,
You can.
I bought this because Ilja had it, and I just couldn't let him have something that I didn't. So
That's hilarious.
Did you buy it from him? Because he wouldn't sell it the day after.
No. Then I've got everyone's favorite, The Rock. I picked the Japanese Dolby Digital 44 whatever version, right?
48.
Seth?
Yeah.
48.
48. So this is actually better.
Yep.
Awesome.
Lower bit rate, though.
Yeah.
Lower bit rate, higher frequency. It's all good.
Maxine, you didn't have The Rock, right?
I did not have The Rock.
Okay. All right.
Vinny, I'm counting on you for the Criterion Cage.
We'll
I
see.
really am. I can't believe no one's picked this one yet. Honeymoon in Vegas?
Oh,
I,
okay.
if I had it, I would have.
Almost.
I don't
made
own
the
it.
list.
Yeah.
That's
Sonny-
the prequel to Leaving Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Sonny Corleone. It's pan and scan, but awesome,
Okay.
awesome movie.
Probably why I don't have it. That's a great movie.
Nice.
Almost made it.
And number 1, my favorite. I love this
Yes.
movie.
Oh.
I mean, just going to Las Vegas to drink yourself to death. I mean, how does it get any better than that? All right, Vince. Let's see some Criterion Rock.
I can't believe I had leaving Las Vegas for a minute, and I sold it to a guy in Georgia named Peter Sherman.
Oh. Don't sell your
I'm not
cage.
sure why I did.
That's
It was early on. I
David Sherman, you mean?
David. Who's Peter Sherman?
I don't know.
No.
He's
Yeah.
He's someone you made up.
Right. It's like Fight Club down there.
Kaiser Sose.
Yeah.
Tyler Durden.
David throws him off a roof. Peter watches him.
Yes.
Or bombs him off the roof.
So
Come
it was almost a clean sweep.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
This is, for us highbrow folks, this is the kind of movie where you're allowed to like, right? And I thought this was the year of Con Air as well. So I feel like this is the year, Cage had his kind of wacky performances early on, then he won his Oscar, and then he's like, screw it. I'm just going to do me. And that's when it kind of, the trajectory changed for him. And his sort of reputation was solidified as kind of a crazy actor who can also be great when he wants to be. So there's this old saying, one for them, one for me, meaning you make one big studio film and then you make a small one for yourself.
Hey, Vince, let me ask you a question. So why exactly did Criterion release The Rock and Armageddon and modern films? Were they doing that to try to make more money, or what was that?
Cashing in.
Yeah, people always say that. I'm like, do you think people are rushing out to buy Benjamin
$100 box sets?
I think they just see Michael Bay as sort of the epitome of modern cinema. He's a big turning point in what happens, right, to Hollywood. So he's important. They don't say they only put out good movies. They put out films that are important.
Wait. So you're saying that Armageddon's not a good movie? I just want to.
No, that one too.
It's
okay.
important.
Yeah, but The Rock's better. The Rock's better. They're important, but that's really it. They don't really do that much anymore. I mean, they do some films now that are popular that people know. The Irishman will be out, or Marriage Story. But again, it's not burning up the charts. People aren't rushing to pay $40 for The Irishman that was on Netflix.
And all the nerds on the internet just complain about it, so it's not really an end.
Yeah, as if Criterion is just rolling in the dough. I'm sure
they're
barely breaking even. They only sell discs twice a year during 50 off sales.
Yeah. It's the only time I buy them.
Right.
That's because they don't have yearly subscriptions like Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah.
Our proud sponsors.
I was telling Ryan earlier, I've only misplaced a few LaserDiscs in my life because I never knew anyone else who had them. But I did have one buddy who had a player and used to work with me at Laserland, TM.
Should have never sold it.
And he was Italian like me, so his parents, I'm sure, wanted to watch Moonstruck, and I must have given him my widescreen Moonstruck, and then I never saw it again. But that would have been for sure on the list, and that came out the same year as this, which is pretty amazing.
Nice.
To make two movies that great, and this is just, you guys have said enough already. I really don't want to meet anyone who doesn't like this film. I don't know if they exist. Princess Bride's another one. If you know someone who doesn't like that, just run the other direction. But yeah, this is perfect. And then you get one of his better accents. That's his key differentiator. He's going to pick a different voice in just about every movie. And the one I don't have, that my favorite Cage voice is Peggy Sue Got Married, which is just the greatest acting decision I've ever seen. And I think the story goes that he didn't want to do it. So I think he tried to get himself fired because his uncle produced it. And he's like, I'm going to do the dumbest voice I can think of as if I'm on helium. And he does it the whole movie, and it's hysterical. So this one's another great accent, probably, right up there.
Great hair too.
Oh,
great hair, and just all the amazing Coen Brothers stuff. And the Coens started out with Sam Raimi doing camera tricks on Evil Dead. So there's a lot of that set in this, with just a lot of fast dolly moves and quick cuts. So I'm glad did everyone pick that?
No.
I picked it.
I don't know. And showing a sign of my age too, I told Ryan before this that I thought I had 5 for sure, because I thought I had Face Off, but somehow I don't. I have an HD-DVD and now Blu-ray, but I didn't have the LaserDisc. And because of my unique filing system, I forgot.
Oh,
this was filed in the Scorsese section.
Flexing.
I just passed over it when I was looking for the movie. So of course, the last LaserDisc and the Scorsese disc, so I had to have it. And to this point, the most I've ever paid for LaserDisc sort of in the last 3 or 4 years. But I had to have it. Great cover. I've only seen it maybe once or twice, so I'm really due for a rewatch of it to see if I like it more. I enjoyed it at the time.
It's underrated.
That's what I feel like. I'll give it another shot.
It's the Schrader script, right?
Did Schrader write? Yes, he did. So it definitely feels like a Schrader. It's Taxi Driver and an ambulance.
2, yeah.
And my number 1 is, like Maxeene said, it's just this was.
Is that a Pan scan? Are you holding a Pan scan?
It is, and
The brow just
not
fell.
rotted.
Whoa!
It's not rotted, so we're lucky it's not rotted. There's a handful of movies around this era where I would have to call my friends and you just got to come over right now and we have to watch this, and this was one of them. And we just watched it over and over. And from the same screenwriter as After Hours, and there's similarities there, just sort of one night gone wrong for a guy. And it's just, God, I mean, Gifts from Vampire's Kiss are better than a lot of movies.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
His faces, oh my God, his faces alone. It's
Do
just
you
so
guys-
still.
Do you guys want to answer some Nick Cage trivia before
course
we
we
move
do.
on?
Yeah, throw it down. Yeah.
You guys, Sam might know a lot of these. They might be too easy for Sam, but we'll see.
All right. I'll try and.
Give someone else a chance.
Okay. Yeah.
So Nick Cage has been in 2 Marvel productions. True or false? Has he been in a DC film? True or false? DC
True.
movie for Nick Cage. Who said true?
Me, Ryan.
Which one?
Teen Titans.
That's not what I was thinking, but maybe that's right.
The
Voice. I was thinking of Kick-Ass.
yeah,
That's Marvel, I think, isn't it?
I think it's an imprint of DC.
Oh, I always thought that was Marvel.
I thought it was independent.
Ryan, we can cut
It
this
is, but it's
Teen Titans is DC Comics.
Yes,
So
that's true.
yeah.
Another
Let's look
one.
it up.
This is the good one for Peter. He likes to gamble. Rotten Tomatoes on the meter. Combined score over or under 50% for Nick Cage movies. There's like over 90 movies scored.
And for the record, Kick-Ass is Marvel Comics. So he was in
Now
Kick-Ass.
I'm going to lose my day job, too.
Ghost Rider
I had the
and
right answer
Spider-Man.
anyway. So
Yeah,
we're good.
Ryan answered it correctly regardless.
There we go.
So.
Over or under 50 on the Rotten Tomato meter for Nick Cage lifetime.
He's gotta be under. He did a lot
Under.
of stinkers.
It's got to be over.
I'd go under.
It's under 44%. You know, it's funny, as I'm watching you guys, you know, you think of Nick Cage now, and I always think about younger people who maybe, you know, if you're 20 or 30, all you know about Nick Cage is that he's in bad straight-to-video movies, or all you know about Tom Cruise is that he's in Mission Impossible, or Liam Neeson's an action star. You know, all these weird, or Keanu Reeves is an action star. So just guys who had completely different careers in the LaserDisc era, and now are totally different. So, you know, I expected to see a lot of bad movies held up tonight. And there, I don't think there were any, right? So I think that the worst of his work comes after 2000.
100%
Yeah.
agree.
What do Michael Jackson and Nick Cage have in common?
They both married Lisa Marie.
Very good. Both married the same woman,
Wow.
Lisa Marie Presley.
And
You know,
Francis
he's
Ford
obsessed
Coppola
with-
did movies for both of them, too.
That's true. Yeah. And he was obsessed with Presley, so that's kind of weird that, of course, married her daughter. His, you know, real last name, of course, is Coppola. Why did he change it to Cage? How did he pick it?
it was some sort of
Luke Cage?
Luke Cage, yeah.
Luke Cage, right. And finally, that movie behind Ryan, City of Angels, is a remake of which highbrow classic?
Go Seth.
That you can't answer.
Der Himmel über Berlin.
Ooh, German pronunciation.
Nice. Wings of Desire.
Wings of Desire.
This is probably the biggest drop-off from original to remake I can think of.
They should have had the opening in black and white, but they completely pussed out.
And it wasn't bad enough. It made that Goo Goo Dolls song a hit, which
It did. But it had Sarah McLachlan on it, so.
Is it even really a Goo Goo Dolls song, since like a session guy like basically came up with all of it?
right.
I mean,
That's
So a
it.
lot of songs on-
Cool. Well, thanks for the trivia, Vinny.
excellent.
All right. I think we're going to move on to no more Nicolas Cage for the rest of the night.
That's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Unless you're going to buy a Nicolas Cage one recently.
Just kidding. So we're going to do some recent pickups. So this is going to be quick for me because I haven't gotten too many.
Because you just dumped a 6-parter on YouTube.
I did just dump a 6-part on it, but that was backed up from July, so it's going always. I just happened to get this in the mail. Standard Con Air AC3, but it was sealed, so I figured I'd grab a copy of that because I didn't have it. So
48.
it's in 48, so
Nice.
it's better. It's better than your DTS one.
Are you really slumming it with an AC3 mix? Let's
Yep.
be honest.
I'm the guy that this is my bread and butter, man. I don't go for the highbrow. I don't go for the DTS. I just get that stuff to keep you guys happy.
King of the
Off my
Commons.
back.
We
Yeah.
talk about Nick's hair while you have that up. That has to be the worst of his movie hair, right? I mean, there's
The
this
super
No,
mullet?
no, no, no.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bangkok Dangerous.
Oh, is that bad?
Oh, it's beautiful.
I'll have to look at that. That's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
He's never had, I mean, I don't know if he's ever had great hair. Maybe in Valley Girl and a couple of early ones.
Oh, he had great hair in Valley Girl. Woo! Legend.
Also got, sadly, we'll have to wait for the Billy Zane super special to talk
yeah.
about more of his films. But I got Megaville, which I've been meaning to upgrade my VHS copy for a long time. This is like a weird straight-to-video sci-fi movie, but it's got a lot of interesting energy. It's really low budget, very Los Angelino. Daniel Travanti's in it as well, and I forgot who else. I think some Twin Peaks people in there, in inclusion to Billy Zane. But yeah, Grace Zabriski's in there as well. But interesting stuff. I always kind of liked it. It was one of those things I saw on cable wicked late at night and always wanted to get again. Stupid autofocus. But yeah, I found a sealed copy of it. It is in 4:3, but It's the only thing available on LaserDisc. There's no letterbox copy. And then this thing came in from some sketchy salesman guy that sold me on it. He's like, give me a couple bucks, I'll send you this Ghost in the Shell box set. And it came with the bag with the Obi sticker too, if you want to read that.
A $400 sticker.
Yeah, that's very good. So so I finally have this thing. I've been waiting for it forever, and this will make a nice little counterpart to my manga CAV version.
If you only had a 4K digital version.
Is Ghost?
I know.
Is that a feature-length film?
It is a feature-length film. Yeah, it's and
would
it's also
I through more than 30 minutes of that?
You might. It's
you would
it's,
like that,
Vinny. Better than Akira. Maybe I try Ghost instead.
It moves along at a fast clip, but I mean, it does have its kind of like interesting introspective moments. So it's got some highbrow to it. James Cameron was like a huge fan of it. In fact, there's even a little insert in here with a big love letter from him.
Nice.
And he was
writing letters and shoving them in LaserDisc.
Yeah, that was his thing. So he was a big booster of this, but it's pretty short, and it's got a lot of mood to it. Mamoru Oshii did a lot of live action stuff too, and then Jinro the Wolf Brigade, and just a lot of great films. So yeah, I think you might dig it. So.
Cool.
And it's bilingual, which is surprising for a Japanese.
It is, yeah. This one's got Japanese. It's got English, so you can swap between the analog tracks and the digital tracks, and this also has LD graphics. So if you have one of the players that has LD graphics, you can throw on the subtitles on there, and then switch it over to Japanese and just watch English LD graphics on the Japanese audio.
I want that one because mine has English audio, but only have dub tracks on the closed captions. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then I got this. Hold on, let me wheel around.
Well, it's not a Muse decoder?
It's not a Muse decoder. It's
the Practical Magic 4K box set.
It's a LaserActive.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
Shout outs to Mark Rivera who hooked me up with this. Yeah.
I had one I could have.
Now you need my Retro Scaler 2X.
No pack though, so I got to get some packs.
Oh.
But I've been wanting to get one of these for a while, especially because when the world opens up again, I'm going to be doing Retro World and all that stuff. And if you're going to be in a video game convention, yeah, you need to get. I need some games and some packs and all that stuff.
Does she work? She plays discs?
Yeah, it was busted, but it came to me and I messed with it, and it's playing. So
nice.
I'm gonna pass it along to my main man Bill. He said he can fine tune it and all that stuff. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
So that's it for me. I'm gonna pass it on to Ryan.
Cool. So I had a few things that came up.
Hold on, let me get my eBay ready.
First and foremost, I got some swag from the Laser Swag Queen. It is a sweet image entertainment catalog with pictures, which I really like this because I really didn't want to read anyways, and it's got pictures. So, if you're looking for Moonstruck or anything else, this is just a great resource. It's a great way to see a lot of old titles that you may have never seen or had no clue existed on LaserDisc or existed in general. And so I've started thumbing through that and adding things to my wish list, and that's probably dangerous as well. But what are you going to do? Moving on, I got a few pickups.
Did anything make it from Japan?
No, Japan hates me. I did get something from Hong Kong via California. This is Zondali, Nicolas Cage, and Judge Reinhold. And
nice.
It's a Hong Kong release, and it was not on LaserDisc database until I added it. But they all have sweet mustaches in this movie. And apparently the international version is longer than the U.S. version, so I have not seen this yet. But
nothing says erotic thriller like Judge Reinhold.
Yeah, he really sets those panties on fire.
As you can see over my shoulder there, the mustaches that they are featuring just... They're really era appropriate. Bringing it back a little bit, I filled in a Broterian slot with some Cynthia Rothrock, Honor
Excellent.
and Glory. I had been looking for this. Yes. Only those with true honor can win the glory.
Accurate.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Keeping it in the slum area, I've got a Roger Corman Dracula Rising.
Ooh.
Nice.
If Roger Corman presents it, I think it's probably Criterion worthy, just right out of the box. You
Nice
guys can
artwork.
correct me. Yeah,
Yeah.
great artwork. And I haven't seen this yet, but just judging by everything that it has, Image Entertainment stamp, Roger Corman, it's probably at least an 8.
Pan and scan.
You know, if they do Michael Bay, they must have done a Corman film. I can't think of one. So Corman in the Criterion Collection?
They're working on it. I think there's probably going to be an entire series, like
Box
2022
set. Yeah.
year of Roger Corman or something.
That would be pretty cool.
I got some more Rothrock filling in a blank in my collection. China
Ooh,
O'Brien
nice.
2.
That's,
You ready for this? She's
Yeah.
back and deadlier than ever.
I was worried that she wasn't going to be as deadly.
Those are surprisingly hard to find, probably because nobody wants to sell them because they're so good.
Yeah.
But
That's it.
Yeah,
I'm-
definitely.
see, at least you guys all agree with me.
or no one's looking.
That is not true.
Wow.
Black Belt 2, Fatal Force.
Is that Lenny
Uh,
Kravitz?
This is Blake Bonner, WKF World Kickboxing Champion. So this is one of those great, oh, he's legit, let's throw him in front of a camera and see what happens.
What do we got for tags?
Crime has a new enemy. Justice has a new name.
What is it?
Fatal Force. Yeah, what's the name?
Black Belt 2, I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
Black Belt the Second. He's named after his dad.
Yeah,
Belt
his
Senior.
dad was in
Yeah.
Black Belt. You can also find that on LaserDisc if you look hard enough.
Usually if you're going to say has a new name, it should be the name of the character.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well,
Fists
no,
McGee.
maybe his name is Black Belt. Who knows? I haven't seen it yet.
Black Belt the Second.
Crossfire,
Ooh.
Ooh.
they're dirty, devious, down and out destroyers, and they're the good guys.
Well, that's a lot of alliteration.
And it's got Nelson Entertainment logo. They made a lot of really good quality pan and scan. So
Is that like Nelson, the hair metal band?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Those chicks were hot. Wait,
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like a movie like that, is that actually pan and scan? I mean, were they ever an actual proper film scope? Because they never made it to the theater. You would.
Yeah, was that
Yeah.
even designed? Yeah. For,
I assume. I don't know. I mean, maybe because some of them they have released widescreen versions of later on. So it maybe just depends on who it was, or maybe they shot it knowing that like they were going for the 4:3. So if they pulled it out, there would be stuff left and right that didn't get cut properly.
The directors definitely wanted to use the Academy ratio like the old days.
yeah.
That was
It was a
definitely
throwback.
choice.
Yeah.
That reminds me, there was an LDF member who was making his own pan and scan version of a newer movie recently. I want to check back on that. See if
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they're doing that on like new movies on VHS a lot.
Yeah.
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 I
Wow.
forget what movie it was. Maybe it was Mandy. There's a company that's doing official releases of like 100, and they're doing it in 4:3, and they're like, it's basically the widescreen cut down to 4:3,
Oh,
and they're not even like moving it.
No.
And I'm like,
This guy was actually taking a scope film and redoing.
It was actually panning, yeah.
Yeah.
so
Adding scan lines also.
Yeah. I think to quote Moiki, or maybe it's Luke, it's a colossal waste of time.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Probably both of them.
Yeah.
We got nothing going on right now, so knock yourself out, I guess.
What you can do is when you're recording it, you can hit the VCR to add a little extra juice to the picture.
Yeah.
Moving on, Eye of the Demon, also known as Bake Oven.
Bake oven.
Yes, also Bake Oven. A demonic presence, an empty graveyard, a deadly secret. It looks terrible, but it also looks amazing. So why
Got a
not?
good font. I like that
Somewhere
font.
it was released as bacon, just
Yeah.
in case you were looking for bacon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up.
So I'm gonna raise the brow a little bit, just a smidge.
Yeah.
A nice
Ooh.
DTS upgrade.
Nice.
Ooh,
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Wow.
That
Look
is
at
movie
you.
magic.
John Mix.
Groovy.
I know. So
It's my
Yeah.
happening, baby, and it freaks me out.
I've been looking for this for a while, and I have every other version apparently, not intentionally, but I finally got the upgrade I was looking for. So
Excellent.
48.
That's a movie. That's a movie. Dads like me think they can show like an 11, 10-year-old, and then they realize, wait a minute.
Nope.
Nope. The Swedish penis pump will do it.
I swear it's not mine, baby.
It's my bag.
This sort of thing is my
By
bag, baby.
Austin
By one
Powers.
Austin Powers. Quickly.
I got a nice rental here.
Ooh.
Excellent.
So I have no idea what this film's about, but it's got
What?
Danny DeVito in it, I believe.
How do you
Speaking
not know
of
it's about time in
And
America?
James Woods. Or is it or Joe Pesci, James Woods?
Everyone's in that.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've never seen it, but when I got it from
Really
Luke,
like
I looked it up on the LDDB, and it was listed as Once Upon a Time in China. Had the wrong name, the wrong link, the wrong everything.
That's
and
the
no one
Jet
had
Li
it.
series.
So
How long is that version? Because there's a long cut.
It's like the middle length or something.
227.
You're never gonna make it through that movie.
Yeah. There's some good stuff in it, but it is a chore sometimes.
I was gonna try it and fall asleep. We'll see. Maybe. Some more Hong Kong cinema.
Excellent.
Oh.
Nice.
Yep. This is Full Contact, if I remember correctly. I think
Yep.
that's the pronunciation or the translation.
Fantastic
And-
film.
Yeah, and I got this off eBay, and it was super cheap, and it's still got some random guy's address on the back, so I won't showcase that.
Oh man.
But it does have subtitles, so that's all I really need.
Oh, wow.
I'll have to exercise my brain and read. A nice, sweet
Ooh,
horror.
Inferno?
This is Master of Horror or Bizarre Opera. It's a Dario Argento thing.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's just like kind of like a documentary.
Yeah.
And it's got an amazing cover. Yeah, it does look like Inferno now that you say
Yeah, a
it.
lot.
Yeah.
But it's really cool, and I believe Japanese only. So and no one bid against me, and I'm like, why? So not complaining. I'm not complaining. Whenever no one bids against me, I'm happy. And then
nice.
this is the second Flash. I don't know. It's not a pilot. I don't know if it's like a season finale, but it's like a longer episode.
Is that a Mark Hamill one?
That is Mark Hamill. So,
Trickster.
Wow.
yeah.
Nice.
But I got this in a lot with the original one, which I had, but I wanted this one, and I'm like, well, if no one bids against me, I'll get it, and 6 months later, shipped from Japan finally. So it's here. And then I got 3 more. I won this really big lot, and I didn't showcase all of them last time because I wanted to save a couple. This is a common. This is in Sam's wheelhouse, Rising Sun.
I've got multiple copies.
Yep. Nice Japanese widescreen. I believe, no, it's not AC3, but still.
Yeah,
It's
a
a
little
good-
too early for that.
Yeah, just a bit. This one's a little later and superior than the US version. It is AC3. The US was not. Nice double jeopardy. And then saving the highlight for last and for the podcast, the AC3.
Nice.
Nice.
So this will be the next movie I watch. I'm going to spoil it right now.
Where is that chronologically? When does that come out versus the U.S.?
I want to say it's earlier, believe it or not. I could be wrong. I think it might be like a month or 2 earlier.
Hmm.
So I'll have to look that up. But I remember seeing it and going, why is this earlier? But it is, I think.
There was like a delay on a lot of the U.S. slate releases. Because when I was reading Widescreen Review, like they would have the movie on the cover because of the DVD coming out, and then like a couple issues later they would talk about the LaserDisc. So it was like, I don't know, it was like vinyl releases or something. They had
Did they have to get X amount of orders before they made them, or were they still
Probably.
actually making them? Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Well, all the pre-orders seem to be sold out for all of these movies at the end because they knew they were getting rid of the format at a certain point. But this was a month and a half before the U.S. one, but it's more sought after because it's AC3.
Is it gatefold?
It is a gatefold. It's
Show us,
I don't
Ryan.
know if it's the last gatefold. I know that it's close to it, but you've got the full. And they did cheap out though. Like,
They always have black and white on the inside.
yeah, and it's cheaping out.
Yeah.
I'm spending a lot on that cardboard.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's thicker.
Yeah, it is much thicker cardboard, and even the Obi is a little thicker for added value. But yeah, so I had been waiting for that forever, and it came, and then we decided we were doing this podcast, and I'm like, now I've got to wait.
Ryan,
it's totally worth it.
the disc you peer pressured me into buying today, I read about an LDDB and it said it was the last gatefold.
Okay, that would make sense. It's probably a couple months after this one, so good deal. All right, so I'm passing it off now to Seth.
All right.
What you got?
So I got this in the mail. I bought this. So this is another long film, I guess. Bernardo Bertolucci's 1900. I don't know much about this, but it's got De Niro in it and some other people. Yeah, so the guy was selling another film I wanted, and I looked through what else he had, and like, I could get this. So, yeah.
Is that a box? Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a box. Yeah, it's a pretty nice blue box. Paramount release. I didn't expect it to be a box. It didn't look like it was quite thin.
Yeah.
So the one I was wanting to get from him was this one, Weekend at Bernie's 2.
Yeah.
Widescreen.
In widescreen, yeah.
He's back.
So yeah, he's back. And recently I got a care package from Ryan. There was a bunch of stuff in there. There's one thing that I am really happy about because I'm trying to be Criterion Complete. I think I have competition now, so it's going to be rough.
You do.
No, but this Trevor Noble had this, and when our other Criterion Complete collector, Chris Altman, was going to get his, Trevor knew he had it. He didn't find it because he has put this among the Westerns. So this is the penultimate Criterion Collection release. So after this is Armageddon, and then DVD only. So yeah, really, thanks a lot. And also I got Butterfingers in the package, so super.
I was going to ask about the Butterfingers. Yes, good.
Yes. And
Those are already gone, though.
Oh yeah, 2 days in. Recently, I also got this National Lampoons with both of the Corys.
Terrible, but it's amazing.
Criterion.
Yeah, I don't know much about this, but I kind of like weird comedies, and National Lampoon is
The whole
fun.
set of that is insane. When you watch it, you'll. I feel like the just design aspects of it is just, it's great.
It's an experience.
Vinny said I
it's
could
an
borrow his
experience.
copy,
That's
so
the best way
Yeah.
you could describe it.
Is it the last? I don't know if it's the last Haim film. That's worth a lot of money if it is.
final Haim.
Lame. So what else? So yeah, and I did something that never happens. I bought a lot and a player. So just for the experience. So instead of showing the player, I can't do that. So I
Lift
got
it up. Be tough.
It's still in the car. To be
Yeah,
honest.
502.
High end.
Yeah,
505.
502.
Nice.
It's got like dual sides, headphone jack, and
No digital.
no digital and no S video
505
and no.
right there.
Well, no digital out. It can still play digital audio.
Yeah.
Through the DSE.
No jog wheels.
This one has two lasers then?
Sadly,
No.
it's just the one.
And you said something about the turning mechanism was the older one, or
It's the old Alpha. So sometimes the upper guide rail can run out of grease, and it'll make all sorts of weird, funky clacking sounds and strange noises. So, yeah.
Okay, I did try it out recently. It did play fine. So
Just plug it into a retro scaler 2X. It's going to look really good, Seth.
yeah, but it doesn't have S video, so I have to put S video then a S video to composite converter. I think that's the best way.
Absolutely.
And you got to
And to
turn it to
component.
SCART.
Yeah, and then SCART. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a S video to SCART, but the thing is with S video, you can have like 15 meters of cable, but you don't know how much that is, so it doesn't matter. So in this lot was a pretty basic lot. There were some Rotarians here, so there was like point of impact.
Ooh.
Revenge isn't all he's after.
That's too nice of a cover, actually. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So don't know anything about that. Yeah. Thelma and Louise, I didn't have. So there were a couple of duplicates in this, but
Right.
I just wanted the experience of going out and buying a lot. So there's 48 discs and a player.
And,
So-
and not getting killed. It's like,
Yes.
It's a rush.
Yeah.
Some people jump out of planes and we meet strangers in parking lots.
This didn't happen here. So they just left it outside their apartment because, And this is in a sort of rough area. So I was kind of afraid, but it was still
There's
daylight.
like rough areas in Sweden.
This one is. There was
Mean
a fight
streets.
there.
You said-
Then and some guy used a tennis racket to chase off the
The hooligans.
the hooligans. Go get out of here. Shirts were torn. Yeah. JFK. Don't have this. This
Nice.
is the theatrical cut, so it's only 3 minutes of Back and to the Left. Another weird thing. Flashback with Dennis.
Dude. Yeah. And Kiefer.
Yeah. So is it fun? Do you guys know it?
Yeah, I've seen it a bunch of times. It was always on cable.
Cool. So Mortal Thoughts with Bruce Willis and Demi Moore.
yeah.
Do you think
Yeah, it's not bad.
in this one?
What about it?
Did they hook up on this one?
They were married around there. I don't know if that's what they were definitely. I think they were a couple at that time.
I don't know if this is widescreen. Doesn't say.
I love how tiny his name is compared to Glenn Headley, and that will probably never happen again.
Yeah.
Nope. Let's see. Okay, yeah. And then there was this. I haven't seen the first one. I haven't seen the second one. So
nice.
Young Guns. Now I need to find Young Guns 1.
Later.
I don't have those yet.
And so what I did, there was a picture of this lot, and I sent it to a chat with some people in it. And people were like, yeah, this one, I know that one. And then there was a Image Entertainment disc. And it could be anything. And lo and behold, Weekend at Bernie's 1.
Nice.
But still. So now I have that, and I can find the AC3 there. Oh, also a Spike Lee joint, Girl 6.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty decent lots, some action films, and yeah. That's it. Over to Maxeene. What you've been getting?
Okay, I want to get my stack here in my lap going as many as I'm allowed here. I got.
Yeah, we're shutting you off at 16.
I got a bunch because I wasn't able to show some last time, so we're gonna show the very, very sad.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes.
Extremely rotted.
The clear version?
Yeah, let's see.
Collectible clear version?
It's like the red disc.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's 2020 if it were a LaserDisc.
Yeah.
It's just so sad.
Oh, man.
And it's like I just put it in the player.
Does the player even recognize it as a disc?
It gives an F5.
Oh, that means you need a red laser.
Yep.
Read right through that.
It's just so sad. But I mean,
The 1010?
Theoretically, you can tear it apart, put some new aluminum on it, and
Yeah,
reseal
right?
it,
That's what
and
I
it'll be
heard.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who can do that.
The cover is nice.
Is
What
that
if you plasti dipped it?
Sarah Jessica, right?
Yeah, Sarah Jessica Parker and Helen Hunt is in
Nice.
When you posted that, I ran to my record collection. I thought for some reason I had the soundtrack, but I had Modern Lovers, which is another similar movie.
Yes, I love them. I love that movie. That's a good one. I wish that didn't get a LaserDisc release.
No.
I listened to the She's Out of Control soundtrack this week on vinyl.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Danza.
Danza-tastic.
We'll have to do a soundtrack time.
We should.
I know. It'd be so good. Side by sides. Ooh.
Ooh.
So this one, no clue.
Looks like a 12-inch.
Just saw it, but it's Montgomery Ward, March
Ooh.
1996 programming.
Nice.
Monkey Wards.
So I have yet to watch this. This is the actual. It's called the disc says stopwatch on it. The cover says stopwatch, and it's got this little kind of TV thing. So I guess you're supposed to put this in and make people stop and watch the TVs in Montgomery.
That's going to be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I have one of those from Nobody Beats the Wiz, and it's just like advertisements for the media that they're selling, and then like music videos. So you're gonna love it.
Cool.
I love
They're time capsules, really.
I love stuff like that. Okay, so we're gonna get into some Japan business here. So the missing link to my RoboCop series has arrived. Number
Excellent.
2 is here. So now I have all the whole series, and so I can start digging into that confidently.
That took a sweet time getting here, huh?
Oh my gosh, seriously. This, I feel like I got this long ago because of Ryan. Pretty sure. Space Truckers.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
And it's, it's got the
Cube pigs.
extra fine detail there, so. The sleeve is just terrible. Sorry, it's so glary. But
Yeah. It's worth having.
Woo! I'm excited about this one. This is another one where I just couldn't believe, I even got this.
Nice.
A little trauma taste.
Yeah.
That's right. The guy who's forcing a woman to eat an uncooked hot dog, if I recall.
I have not seen
A different time.
So it was a different time.
Now you have to cook.
From a different time.
You have to cook the hot dog now. Yeah.
This I didn't know anything about.
Nice.
Wow.
And I'm so jazzed about this. It's just literally all Ramones, Blondie, and Dead Boys.
Not
Dead
filmed
Boys
at the
rule.
club, just videos.
I believe it's videos. I haven't watched it yet.
There's a lot of Dead Boys footage from there, so it wouldn't surprise me.
That's cool.
Yeah, this has all these great songs on there.
I played CBGB. Who wants to touch me?
Wow.
Yeah, no.
That's
All right. Trevor,
I use the bathroom.
you have to use the bathroom. Yeah.
Okay, now this is another one where I just saw the cover, had to have it. Above Los Angeles, Day and Night.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
For the Apple TV
It just
screensavers, you
seems
have
like,
to go.
yeah, right?
That's cool. Helicopters.
It's totally like Apple TV screensavers.
That's
But
neat.
I mean, the whole back of it, like, it just seems like it says Morning Dew, American Road. So I'm guessing it's just gonna be some cool vibes with cool music.
Never seen that.
No, I've never heard of this, never seen it, and just was like, Los Angeles, all right.
Sweet.
So, okay, we got some Kiss.
Nice.
Potential.
You wanted the best, you got the best.
We've got the best on LaserDisc.
Is that from their farewell tour?
This is...
Which one?
Ooh, let's see. Yeah, right. Well, this is Eric Singer, Bruce Kulick, Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons era.
It's the one where Paul Stanley and Gene get mad at Ace and Peter.
This has Domino on it, guys, so that should just give you a little indication if you know anything about Kiss.
I still got to get the Kiss My Ass one because it's got like anthrax on it and stuff.
Oh, damn.
I need that.
I can cue you up with that.
You got one?
I believe I have that.
Nice. I still got to buy that rock off you, so
Yeah, no, you need that Criterion rock.
I'm a
Or
slacker.
before I decide that I need to keep it.
Yeah, I know. All right.
That's
Terror in
shock.
the Isles.
This
Nice.
is supposedly like kind of a compilation of like a bunch of horror
Is
stuff.
that Terror in the Isles?
I'm thinking
The Donald Pleasance
they have
one?
a different name. I don't know. We'll see if it jogs any memories. It's got some cool Wolfman.
Yeah, it's Terror in the Isles.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's what it is.
Isles.
Excellent.
Cool. Well, I just saw it, liked it. Haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, that's fun. Though there's like a section of it where they just stop talking about horror movies altogether, and I'm like, what?
Really?
Yeah, it's just like I don't know, like westerns or action or something. Like there's like a section that's like very not horror centric.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, that's
but then it
kinda
gets back into
weird.
horror. Yeah.
Okay, these are a little worse for wear, but Eternal Evil.
Mm.
No clue.
Good luck with that one. It is a notorious image rotter.
Oh gosh.
I've failed a couple of times, but
Yikes.
you may get lucky.
I hope so. I don't think so. Okay, yeah, so Neon Empire I got.
Okay, cool.
I don't know anything about this. Just the story of Las Vegas is all it says there.
Sweet.
Mo Green.
VHS
Okay.
Plus.
Taking it up a little notch here. Alienator.
That's excellent.
Sweet.
Is it good? Oh, good.
I mean, good is maybe not the right word. Excellent is probably a better.
Okay, all right. I mean,
That Lita Ford.
Jan Michael Vincent. No, it's not Lita Ford. I'm not sure who that is on the front, actually.
It could be
should be
Lita
Lita
Ford
Ford.
then.
It could actually be Lita. Well, wow, it says PJ Souls is in this.
Oh,
I love
It is directed by the one, the only Fred Olin Ray.
I thought you were gonna say Alan Smithy.
Close.
Fred Olin Ray is pretty good though. Nice.
Welcome to Spring Break.
Oh,
Nice.
killer cover.
This was recommended by Bill. He said
Got the
I-
Wraith in it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Totally.
Like it.
It looks pretty good.
Or that dude from Grease too.
Oh my gosh. Is he in here? I love Grease too.
No, the Masked
Don't get my
Rider or whatever
hopes
they.
up.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the best one I saved it for last.
Ooh,
Oh,
so
nice.
jealous.
And I
Man.
got this
Nice.
just
I
by
can't.
accident, really. It was not listed as it being there,
Nice.
and then it was. I got this
Excellent.
in with three. It was 3 Twin Peaks box sets. It's one, and then two, and then part 1, part 2, and then this was in with those.
Nice.
About 2 hours ago, my wife informed me how much she hates the music from Twin Peaks.
Aw.
Very disappointing.
I've
I
really
just
like,
listened to the soundtrack for The Return with my wife last weekend on Final, and she was all into it. So
I
You
have
got
the
the first
cassette of the
Yeah.
soundtrack.
I've got
I had the
first
cassette
season.
too, but it got destroyed when it fell off the roof of my car.
Oh
In my little
gosh.
Reuniti wine case that I used to keep my cassettes in. My
Oh.
friend left it on the roof, and then we drove away. Just like the baby in Raising Arizona.
Yeah.
I've got the German vinyl pressing of the Twin Peaks soundtrack. I didn't know it was.
I'm jealous of that.
A European exclusive, but I guess we hung on to vinyl a bit longer for some reason back in the day.
There's some represses, but they're pretty noisy and everything. So that's the one to get.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, that's all of my. I had so many, so that's all.
Damn, that's killer.
Thank you. I'll pass it to Peter. What'd
All
you
right,
get?
Vinny, you ready to talk some highbrow?
Let's do it. What do you
All
got?
right.
All right, this first one is one of your favorite highbrow movies, Vinny. I just watched this for the first time myself recently.
Okay, you got through it?
Terminator 2. I made it.
Good.
Made it past the first 20 minutes. I got
Nice.
that. I got Close Encounters.
Ooh, nice.
Excellent.
Obi sticker.
How's that look? If you watched it yet?
I watched it the previous time.
Old
I
time,
owned it.
yeah.
It looks really good. I haven't watched this
How is
copy
that
yet.
like special edition? Okay. Good.
I think it's just is it the special or is it the
I
regular
think
one?
it's a special edition on the back.
I would guess it's a special edition.
I'm holding on to this one for you, Sam. All you gotta do is send me some money, and this is yours because
Okay.
I watched it, and it's really not my thing.
All right.
Honestly, I could have filmed this myself. Just fish, basically.
Just fish. Yeah.
Just
For the
fish.
soundtrack, it's got some hot
Music.
jams.
Just don't get it, Peter. It's not just fish. It's way more than
Yeah, it's deep.
There's some water and some coral reef also.
very deep.
All right, so I stopped. You'll like this one here, Vince. I stopped by my local half-price books today, and they actually had quite a selection. Barefoot Contessa.
Nice.
Oh,
Ogie and Ava Gardner.
Yeah. It's got
Gatefold.
a nice
Man
little, gatefold.
Those
Seth,
are-
let's not judge.
No, I like old man discs, but it's
This, I guarantee you, this is going to be awesome on LaserDisc. These old movies all are awesome
Yeah.
on LaserDisc.
they are. They
Yeah.
are.
And then this one also I got from Half Price Books. It's got the two ices in it, T
Yeah.
and Cube,
Best bet.
Nice.
$1.99. So I couldn't pass that one up.
That's on my common to get list too.
Is that a common?
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
it shows up.
I thought it was late release.
No.
And
Sorry, we'll pretend it is.
Nate
based
hasn't
off
posted
of
it.
the Bond podcast, I realized I didn't have the widescreen
Oh.
version of Old School Casino Royale.
What a crazy ass movie.
I've actually never seen this, so I was
Get-
waiting for the
get ready.
widescreen to watch it. I'm sure it's not near as good as the Daniel Craig version.
No.
No.
Probably better.
It's
Yeah.
insane. It's what happens when you do a lot of drugs in the 60s.
I had my new buddy Steven, the guy who makes the Raspberry Pis for the eval board, over my house, and he noticed me admiring Ryan's disc from the last cast, Sledgehammer. So this is two casts in a row where I gotten a free disc because of admiring them. So I just want to point out again, you 571 really like it. So
And I really want that visual soundtrack Twin Peaks disc. So
and then the one that Ryan really wants, and the bane of his existence, and I'm very sorry, Ryan.
Ah,
South Park. It's hard to see. This thing actually, the guy packed this thing in just a bubble mailer, and it got pretty banged up coming here. So I was going to send it back, but he offered half off. So I don't mind a thing that's not in perfect shape, but I just don't want to pay collector prices for it, and now I didn't. So
Did he know what he had, or was he surprised?
I don't think he knew what he had, but based on the price that it sold for, you would think some bells would go off and
Yeah.
say, "Wow, this thing has some value. I should maybe pack it a little better." So
that's what Brian Boitano would do.
Yep.
it is what Brian Boitano would do. So I watched this again with my wife too. She was very impressed with that.
man, that disc will never be mine.
Oh,
I
it
had it fall through and everything else.
says the
it
guy
is
with
what it is.
stigmata. And
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The last time I almost got it because Peter outbid me. If anyone knows, it is what it is. And then he
Guilty.
got it for half off, so which
Guilty.
is great. Kudos. But I had it lined up to pick up off of a Craigslist ad, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm setting them aside and come and get it." And then he texts me 20 minutes later. He's like, "I can't find South Park. Do you still want the rest?" And the rest were
No.
okay stuff, but I didn't care. I was like, "Oh, I'll get these in South Park."
Mhm.
And so who knows where it went. It's probably on eBay, or maybe that was the one that's on eBay. Who knows? But yeah, I had it lined up to get. Did it come from Wisconsin?
It did not.
Okay, so that wasn't the same one. So who knows where that one went? But I'll never get it.
You heard it here first, kids. Ryan needs South Park. Get it for him.
I do.
All right, Vince, let's see the 2 discs you've gotten in the last year.
I've actually
Ooh, throwing shade at
got
me.
a file here. Hold
Number 601 and 602.
on. No, broke that line. I generally don't buy pan and scan. But, this movie's not really that easily available on. I don't think it's ever been on Blu-ray, and there's some DVDs that were a little pricey. So I just love this cover art, and the movie's great. You're talking about batshit crazy. It's a wild movie. Maxeene, you'd love it. Set in Hollywood in the 20s or 30s.
I'll have to rent that for myself.
It's really cool. This bizarro ending that's really amazing.
Is it actually pan and scan, or is that Academy ratio?
No, I think it's what's his name shot it? Conrad Hall. So I think it was 185.
Shot flat.
It's on the Criterion channel recently. Burgess Meredith and Donald Sutherland, Aaron Black. It's really cool. It's about struggling actors and writers in Hollywood.
Icky.
I read this because I've never seen it actually. So I don't know. This is a good version. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
this is the one to watch. Right? Cool,
it's not the original theatrical cut, but that's actually good because the original theatrical cut was tweaked by the studio, and then this is like the.
But Lucas didn't get hold of this yet, right?
Yeah, that was like his original vision, basically. Yeah.
I'm excited to watch it because I've never seen it. So.
Walter Murch has done the.
Is that the first THX approved disc you have?
Probably, yeah.
Technically, I don't think it's THX,
But it's THX Master.
but it's THX.
Right. I got it from someone in the group. I apologize, I forget who it was, but I got this from them as well.
Ooh.
Nice.
I remember seeing this so many times just on cable, but I can't remember it sort of as a cohesive story, so I'm curious to watch it again.
Ghost Pirates. That's about all the story there is.
Yeah, God forbid there not be a cohesive story in your movie.
And music's cool, so.
Are movies supposed to have a cohesive story?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Don't worry. Just don't listen to them. Just,
Okay, I was
go back to your
confused.
snacks.
It's art, Ryan.
I'm out of pizza.
I also rarely buy back something. I sold this off as part of a lot. I just didn't really.
Oh, nice.
I didn't really notice or pay attention, but it's definitely something I want to check out. It was.
Oh yeah, you definitely. I watched that. I thought you would like that actually.
Yeah, shot basically at the '68 Democratic Convention in Chicago.
Yep.
And pretty interesting movie for its time. So I'm curious to check that out.
Vote early, vote often.
Yeah. This is a movie I have a history with. We probably talked about because it is the film that beat Raging Bull, and Scorsese lost to Robert Redford that year. So I sort of boycotted it for most of my life. And then when I finally saw it, it's so amazing. So
It's uplifting too.
Yeah, really uplifting. Glad to get a widescreen copy of it.
Yeah, I actually forgot there was a widescreen of that.
Yeah. I'm discovering all these sneaky late widescreen sort of Paramount reissues and just things I never noticed.
Yeah, get them now before the kids start buying them and raising the price.
Then I got a bunch here from Luke, sort of a last hurrah before he leaves. Sent me Heaven's Gate, a movie I've never seen.
Still haven't watched it. Yeah,
infamous movie that basically changed the industry and sunk an entire studio.
Yep.
Michael Cimino did The Deer Hunter and then made this, and basically ruined.
I saw this on 35 a couple of years ago. Yeah, it was old vintage print, quite worn, but it was amazing. I really loved it. And
This
there's
is
an intermission.
widescreen. Yeah, this is widescreen, 219 minutes. I know there's a bunch of different cuts of this floating around, so I don't know which version.
The Blu-ray from Criterion has omitted the intermission, but I feel the intermission in this film is similar to Dr. Zhivago and Gone with the Wind. It hits at a certain point, and that's a really good job.
This is one I already have on Criterion, Red Shoes.
Oh yeah.
One of Scorsese's favorite films, and I've seen the actual Red Shoes because Scorsese bought them at auction, and it was on display at some retrospective of his stuff.
I heard that defines dance cinema in the same way that Mr. Saturday Night defines comedies.
Right.
It's a hot take there.
That's what I heard. I heard it on the internet.
I don't have a ton of music stuff, but
Nice.
This is kind of cool to have because he does make really interesting videos. Digging in the Dirt is on here. Salisbury Hill.
It's got a Brett Leonard one.
What's that?
Brett Leonard did the big Kiss That Frog one.
Yeah. It says here
Lawnmower
that
Man.
became a theme park ride. I don't know where.
Yeah, and that's like I think that's on a CAV side, so you
Yeah.
can watch it in still frame or whatever.
Yeah, it's got some documentary stuff, so that'll be interesting. And then this one I saw, it's early Daniel Day-Lewis, and I've seen the cover pop up here and there, but I didn't know there was a Japanese one. And the title, it intrigued me because it's early Daniel Day-Lewis. I hadn't seen it, but it's also called Ever Smile, New Jersey. Kind of cool. That looks like the desert, so that's not New Jersey. So I'm curious what it's all about.
Yeah, and it looks like he's doing like salt flat racing or something.
There's a shot of him on the back with 2 Santa Clauses. Who knows?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, huh?
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that before my left foot?
This is pretty. Yeah, it has to be. What is the year here? I don't see the year, but yeah, it has to be pretty early.
Wow.
Yeah, 1990. So
Okay.
No, my foot was 89. So maybe it's one of these things that he shot before and then he got
Yeah.
famous.
And they're like, cash in on that.
So that's it for me.
Excellent.
Nice.
Back to the top.
Good haul, everybody. Thanks for sharing with us. And we're going to do recent spins and then move on to some other things. We got some mail in, so we're going to have a big mailbag segment shortly. So get ready if you submitted some questions. Don't tune out yet because we're going to answer everything for you. But what we've been watching, I have been watching because I heard about the new version that's coming out. I thought it was a nice time to revisit Stephen King's The Stand, the old Mick Garris ABC television version. This is still not very scary. Like all the spooky stuff happens in the first episode, which is all about, the coronavirus-esque Captain Trips, the plague that escapes from a military compound and starts wiping out America. And then from that point on, it becomes a pretty treacly, religious, everybody's got a heart of gold kind of story. And it occasionally goes to, back to the evil walk-in dude, Randall Flagg's people that are holding up in Las Vegas. Killer cast, though. I mean, it's amazing. And, good character piece. So it's not terrifying, and it pulls some of its punches, but it was early 90s ABC television. So what it brought, it crushed it. It's a cool box, too. It's got some, like, stills of the making of in there and fun things like that. Shot in 16 millimeters, so it's not the sharpest thing ever, but yeah.
MOON.
That spells LaserDisc. Yeah, Fagerbacky was great in it. Rob Lowe's great in it, and Gary Sinise is in it, of course, from Snake Eyes, a film you may have heard of. And then I had to watch because I saw the trailer for the new film. Had to fire up Dune.
Oh.
I also did
Another
watch,
favorite of Peter's.
Oh.
I did watch the box set as well, but the picture quality on this is so much better than the box set. Sorry, box set. And the AC3 5.1 is amazing on this too. So I had
48.
I had to watch this. This is like the perfect Saturday night movie, like around midnight for me. So crank that up. I had to watch that. And since I was keeping it David Lynch, I also rewatched Industrial Symphony No. 1, which features Nicolas Cage in it. And it's the closest thing I can get to Wild at Heart on LaserDisc. But so I've been showing this in like about 3 or 4 episodes now. So
Is that a film?
It is a filmed performance of a musical theater production that David Lynch and Angelo Badalamenti did at the same time, right before Twin Peaks launched, and at the same time they were cooking up Wild at Heart. So it's like pretty much Wild at Heart / Twin Peaks, the musical, with a lot of industrial-looking stuff on stage. And Julie Cruz, who does all the ethereal vocals and the Twin Peaks songs, shows up in here. And
This is me not shopping on eBay.
yeah, no, you should get a copy of this. You're gonna love it.
It's actually kind of rare.
Yeah.
And sometimes it demands a high price. Other times you can get it for $20. But
You should, yeah. If you don't get this, all those other guys are gonna get it, and then they're gonna lord it over you.
please don't weigh down my boxes with that, Max.
You should get it. It's amazing, and it's got Nicolas Cage in it. So there
you
go.
have to see it if you're a Cage completist.
And technically, they don't play Sailor and Lula either. They play like the Man and the Woman or something. Is how they're listed in it.
Heartbreaker.
Yeah, the
I think
Heartbreaker. That's
Yeah.
it.
That's
And then
highbrow.
it's got Michael J. Anderson from Twin Peaks in there as well, and fun stuff like that. I also watched Rumblefish, which may have been in the top 5 if it weren't for the fact that he's just Nicolas Cage is not in the film that much. He plays a pretty cool character, but he's he shows up in the beginning and then a little bit later. It's mostly all about Matt Dillon and a tiny little Mickey Rourke over here and Diane Lane. Yeah, really good stuff. It's funny because when it came out hot on the heels of The Outsiders. Coppola shot these like back to back, and it's just insane next to that. And he was just him just completely going off the rails in terms of visuals. And there's an amazing rumble early on in this film that just like kicks you in the teeth. And it's almost entirely in black and white except for some scenes with some rumble fish, and they are colorful, but everything else is black and white. It looks gorgeous. Yeah, this actually looks really nice on LD. I got a widescreen copy from Moiki. Thanks, Moiki. And I had to also fire up Leaving Las Vegas, which is another 16 millimeter film. So it does look a little softer if you fire this up right after watching Face Off or something like that. But it is, it would have been on my top 5, but it is just so damn depressing. So
that was shot on 16 millimeter film.
Yeah, that was the thing. It's like Mike Figgis was like, let's just do this cheap. And, in that way, Nicolas Cage said he was able to give better performances because he didn't have these giant ass 35 millimeter cameras in his face and he could kind of forget them a little bit. But yeah, it's amazing stuff. Yeah, he went to, was it Ireland? And got drunk for 2 weeks straight in Dublin to prepare for this role and then like filmed himself so he could reference it later to see how bad he looked and sounded when he was super drunk. So you could like, it's just the top-notch stuff. So there you go. It's fun. And this is great. It's the special unrated edition. So it's like it's not it's a film with a prostitute, but it's not a very sexy movie. So you're like, woohoo, I can't wait for that extra unrated, really gross scene.
Can't wait for those high school kids.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Who needs more of that? But yeah, it is amazing. It's a top 5 worthy film. It just wasn't in mine because I'm a jerk. So there you go. What about you, Seth? What have you been watching?
Yeah.
Ryan. Sorry, Seth. Wait.
We can do Seth. It's fine.
No, hold off, Seth. Bad. Get in your corner.
Okay, so I got to do these video controls again. Jeez, guys.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
That's my fault.
Oh, look, an outlet.
Classic.
You got Mr. Coffee back there?
I'm getting ready to plug it in. That's what I was doing earlier that you referenced. I was getting my outlet installed. I watched Face Off, and every time I watch this, I think it gets better because you just realize how hard they leaned into playing each other and how well they did it. And it goes both ways. I think Travolta should get as much credit as Cage does because they did such a great job. And I'm not going to talk about it because we've already talked about it, but just really, really good.
It did result in the best meme, I think, of the COVID era, if you can see that. That's Nick. The caption is, glad to see Nicolas Cage is wearing his mask while he's out shopping.
But then boom.
See what they did there? Clever.
Let's see what they did there.
All right. The fourth one out of 5, I guess. I'm not really doing a top 5 here, but I watched The Matrix again.
Nicolas Cage isn't in that. Right?
I know.
What color is it on your screen?
See, they did a nice job of not making it all of the green. No, it's really cool. And it's a great picture quality, as we all know.
Is it green?
I don't remember. I was watching it. I was half watching it.
Are you watching it on a CRT? Because then it would be one color.
No, I was not watching it on a CRT. I was watching it on a LCD while I was packing boxes and working on something
you can't watch it on the LCD.
Blasphemy.
I know. But I've got the retro scaler.
Retro scaler 2X.
To make it look
2X.
like a CRT. Okay.
Yeah, so it looked like a CRT. It really softened it down and removed definition.
And added scan lines.
Oh, I love the added scan lines. Kill Me Again, as Sam might have alluded to. Nice Val Kilmer thriller. I'd say it's a thriller. Japanese only.
Yeah.
Kind of a cool film. I'd never seen it and had no idea going into it. But kind of a cool plot. Basically, the lead actress hires Val Kilmer to fake her death, and Val Kilmer needs the money, so then it kind of spirals like thrillers do. So,
there was
really
some
cool film.
Kira banner on the back of the Obi.
Yeah,
Nice.
so here we go.
Yeah, they used
Yeah.
to do the. I didn't know they were like a company that did releases, so I just thought they were a pressing plant.
Yeah, no, they've got a whole series of them, and
Yeah,
they
get
have
that
the
in
the
that's right,
rapping band,
Oh, what? Oh, rapping band?
the band that raps around instead
Oh,
of like on
yeah.
the side. Yeah,
Yeah, get that in Red Rock West. They match each other rather well.
definitely.
And Last Seduction was the name of the movie I couldn't remember before. So that John Dahl did.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, fantastic.
Fiorentina.
I also watched Rothead Rex.
Nice.
I am rot free as well. That's 2 in 1 week. So the next 5, I'm sorry, whoever you are. Very notorious rotter.
Snake Eyes.
And then last but not least, I also watched Deadfall.
Yes.
And man, I think that cocaine was the motivator here. I could be wrong.
Do you want to guess the Rotten Tomato score on Deadfall?
It's low.
Probably like 13.
It's a 0, right?
It's a 0, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that in the theater. I probably gave it a 0.
Which Coppola did that? It was like Billy Coppola.
Chad Coppola. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, his cousin. He had to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, but wasn't there didn't he do am I making this up? He made one of these recent straight-to-video jobs where he played that character.
Yeah.
Again.
He did. I can't remember the name of the film. But
That's totally Nick Cage. Like, I'm just going to be this guy.
Yeah, in that movie that everyone hated.
Yep. But interestingly enough, somebody's like, why would you watch a Pan and Scan? Because I said all hail glorious Pan and Scan, kind of joking, but also I watch a lot of Pan and Scan movies. And I looked it up. There's still no widescreen US release.
Yeah.
There's a Blu-ray, but it's international, so you'd have to import it. And then you have a full screen DVD or a nice LaserDisc. And again, LaserDisc all the way.
If only you knew someone in Sweden that can get you one.
I mean, I could get one, but it's not LaserDisc then. I could just zoom it in on my LCD
and it works
get
perfect.
the same effect.
Perfect.
So,
And you have to make Internet Dude happy. So next time, get the Blu-ray.
or not. All right. So now I'm kicking it over to Seth because I think he's up, right, Seth?
Yeah.
Is that Seth?
Yeah. I haven't been watching much because it's been summer, and our houses here are only built for 2 days of summer and then to keep the cold out. So it's been a pain. But I did watch some things, and one of them is a Finnish Broterian, which is sort of only Japanese. It's Arctic Heat by
nice.
Rennie Harlin. He did, Long Kiss Goodnight and Die Hard 2. This film has Mike Norris, and so it's a bunch of guys. They are in Finland, and all of a sudden they see the Russian border, and they do the limbo under that that thing, and all of a sudden they're in Russia, and hell breaks loose. There's machine guns, and there's things that blow up, and they fall in love with girls and stuff. So yeah. Oh, there's a bazooka. Mike Norris is fighting with the bazooka. So now I've seen this, and it's going to go to the Broterian Collector #1. Ryan's going to get this as a treat from me. So look forward to that, Ryan. It's a sweet film. Also, during that time when I was, sweating a lot because of the heat, I watched this one. This was really cool. Dangerous Diabolic.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I think this is a comic book character, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Diabolic. Yeah.
And yeah, he's like a Bond villain, sort of like that. But he also is a Bond because he gets the girl and stuff, and drives cool cars and steals things. Kind of like I'm thinking of the Pink Panther too, but it is a Italian director, right?
Yes.
Mario Bravo? No, is it that?
Was it Bava?
Brava? Yeah.
I can't remember who did it. Was it Antonio Margheriti?
Dino De Laurentiis. Yeah. Mario Bava. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We were right the first time.
Yep. Really cool film. And then I didn't watch a bunch of stuff. And then I watched this, Darkened. So when I rewatched the Nicolas Face Off today, I realized they have sort of technology, which is sort of the same, which is kind of cool. So apparently, Sam Raimi wasn't allowed to do a proper comic book based on an actual comic book, so he made something up himself, which is equally as cool. And it's got Liam Neeson as an action star, and it's got Frances McDormand, and that guy from LA Law is the bad guy.
Benny.
So I
Larry Drake.
Larry Drake, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw this as a kid, didn't remember much from it, but I think this is really cool, and I think it's good
It's fun.
for Sam Raimi that it didn't get to do like a DC property or a Marvel property or whatever for his first film in Hollywood. So this is sort of bonkers, but I think it did pretty well at box office.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater.
Yeah. And I know Peter says the sequels are good. Are they 4:3 like made direct to video?
I've
They
got
were
widescreen.
made for video, but they didn't
widescreen.
do them widescreen. Yeah.
Cool.
Die,
yeah.
Dark Man, Die.
Yeah.
And Bruce Campbell's in the first one, so in a tiny cameo at the very end.
At the very end, yeah. He wanted Bruce Campbell, didn't he, to play the main part, yeah. But I really enjoy watching it. So, yeah. All right, that was it.
Good stuff. All right, Maxeene.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have a full-on all Nicolas Cage recent spins. So
Excellent.
this almost made my top 5. I had finished it just in the nick of time.
The
Maybe
Nick
on
Cage
this
of time.
podcast. So, yeah, this one's really good.
You get a bit of the Vampire's Kiss level Cage with sort of like mainstream rom-com. It's a nice mix.
I know, and he really was in one of the ones I was kind of a little surprised that didn't get shown. Maybe it's just me, but it could happen to you.
Yeah.
Like
Pretty good.
I liked that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, Moonstruck.
Yes.
Nice.
I really thought this would be on more lists, and so I tried to tried to show a little, and also Cher really steals the show. So
I forgot there was a reissue. So
I'm sorry. What is that on the bottom of the moon? What is that I see? I think those are the Twin Towers.
oh,
They are.
Notice them.
I noticed them.
notice them.
Can you make a notice them graphic for us, Seth?
Yes.
I watched Moonstruck recently, and as I get older, I'm obsessed with looking up how old people were when they shot movies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And John Mahoney, who is basically wants to date Olivia Dukakis, who's 56, I think.
Yeah.
He's like 44 years old or something, or 47. He's so young, but he looks 60.
Yeah, he always looked old.
Yeah. That's great Cage too, though. The screaming at the hand and it's perfect. Yeah.
Just it's so good.
Soon to be Criterion Blu-ray.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Well, that's a bump up.
Maybe that should be your first Blu-ray.
Well, I do own one Blu-ray.
Oh, you
I
do?
still have never watched it. It's Class of Nukem High. I got it for $1.
Oh.
I couldn't not get it. I love Class of Nukem High.
You should watch it.
But Red Rock West. I watched. This was another contender. I considered it.
I really like
but
that one.
I felt like, I touched on the Twin Peaks vibes with Wild at Heart a little bit more than this, and I did like this.
Mhm.
I did like this, but it just squeaked out for me. If it was a top 10, I would have had different choices.
Yeah, that's like all of them were in David Lynch products.
Yeah,
All three
David
of those
Lynch.
actors.
All-Star team.
And then I did watch. Racing Arizona.
Nice.
It did not make my top though.
Brutal.
I know. I love Nick Cage in this, but I just feel like this is a little too wacky for me to just watch by myself. I do like it, but I don't love it.
Like I said, it's really good with people.
Crowd movie, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched it alone, and I was just like, this just feels like I've seen it before, but I watched it again, and I'm like, I don't know.
It's not as funny by yourself.
No, you're just like, nah, I don't know. I had that just feeling the whole time. I was like, why do I feel this way? I don't understand that. I
Got a
remember
biker from
liking
hell.
it.
Come on.
I know.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like, I
that guy.
remember liking this a lot more than I'm feeling right now. So it was a weird moment. It was a weird moment. But yeah, those were my spins.
Excellent.
Peter, what'd you watch?
All right. My wife and I had every intention of watching Nicolas Cage movies, but we didn't watch any.
Didn't
Aw,
happen.
Instead, we've been working on making our way through the Bonds.
fantastic.
So I kind of got her hooked, starting with Daniel Craig. We watched all those. We worked our way backwards, watched all the Pierce Brosnans, and we just finished up the Timothy Daltons. And to her credit, she likes Timothy Dalton best so far,
Excellent.
having not seen Lazenby, Moore, or Connery yet. But
All right.
Well, there's
License-
still time for Lazenby to
Yes.
steal the show then.
Yeah,
License to
man.
Kill. This is just awesome. Bond just goes rogue and
It's a crusher.
avenges his friend quits his job. This is awesome.
There's a
stuff.
LaserDisc player in it.
Sam, would you
Yeah,
say
there is a LaserDisc player in it.
would you say though that's the
gosh.
worst Bond one sheet? That poster.
That's tough. I mean, because it's a contender.
They phoned it in with the ins.
Yeah. I do have some slight hatred for the View to a Kill one, just because Bond is aiming at nothing, and there's a Max Zorn is behind him in a blimp, like aiming at Uzi at his back. Like, what's going on there? And his legs are like 10 miles too long. But speaking of LaserDisc, too quick, Snake Eyes has a Sony Laser Max appearance when Gary Sinise is giving his big like spiel in the secret room where he's looking at the eyeball footage. He's like telling his whole plan like right in front of a giant Sony Laser Max player. So go Sony. Back to you, Peter. Team
All
Sony.
right. Team Sony. What Seth calls an old man movie, witness for the prosecution. This actually isn't mine. This is my buddy Steve's. When he came over to check out my setup, he left this for me because it was warped. He wanted me to put it in my T-shirt press flattener, which I did. And then I figured I'd test it out. I really, really like the movie. This guy's hilarious.
Did you guess? No spoilers. Did you guess there's a twist at the end of that? Right?
I knew there was a twist. I knew something was coming. I didn't know exactly what it was going to be, but it was obvious that something was
afoot.
So he's a overweight man, just came from the hospital trying to hide his booze and his cigars from his whatever nurse, and then it's a wacky comedy. It's good. Highbrow.
That guy made one film himself, and it's one of the best movies ever. Night of the Hunter.
Night of the Hunter, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got that sitting right over there, waiting to watch. Continuing on with my highbrow selections.
I won't even go there.
I didn't think this was as bad as I read about. I mean, was that scene literally she didn't know what was going to happen?
Yeah.
There's some disagreement about it, but it's creepy anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I as far as movies go, it was interesting. Wouldn't say it was my favorite, but
awkward silence.
I just have a hard time finding Brand attractive to anyone.
Let's go to something less controversial.
There we go.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
How's the grain on that one? Do you see any film grain on it?
I don't know if you ever see film grain on LaserDisc.
Well, that's a Muse.
Yeah, but they didn't have the transfer equipment back then. So what people think of as grain is more video noise. It's a really nice, as far as Muse disc goes, really nice looking release.
Can I ask something? I'm not sure I've ever seen one of those things open. Does the disc slide out, or is it traditional?
You mean you didn't watch my videos?
I'm
Sam
sorry.
dropped a 6-parter on this.
You gave it a thumbs up.
So there's several different ways. This one is a Panasonic, so it
they're different styles. Okay.
slips out, and then it's
Got a slip cover, the original slip cover.
Oh, so like the. I would not have guessed that.
It's a digipack.
there are some that just come in regular LaserDisc cases, and there's some that come in really big ones. But these are they're like CD cases, but much bigger.
And they have that cloth.
Yeah, the cloth.
Yeah,
is
they have
key.
the magic cloth that makes it very difficult to put away.
Yep.
So there's that, and that's actually the 5 that I picked out that I watched. I've watched a bunch more discs in the last couple of weeks. So,
Excellent.
Vince, what do you got? I'm sorry, Sam, go ahead.
No, I was just said excellent. I was giving you props. What, you got nothing? You don't watch anything?
Let me explain something to you. Not to date this podcast for posterity, but it's back to school week here. So that means remote learning for 3 kids and a wife in getting her master's. So it was just, I just lived vicariously through Peter.
At what point are you going to be able to watch an actual movie?
Well, I've been watching stuff just not on laser because that requires. Well, I could watch it on my regular TV. I'd like to go down to the theater.
I mean, and I'm not making a joke, but in all seriousness, can you steal away an hour or two after everyone goes to bed, or how do you do it?
Yeah. It's just the act of going down, but I've actually put some stuff in the other one. But I've been watching some DVDs and some Blue, and then sucked into a couple of new series. Raised by Wolves on HBO Max.
Yeah, which I don't have, even though I pay for HBO. Thanks, Amazon.
Weird.
What?
Womp womp.
Yeah.
Amazon. But there's a bunch of these that I really want to see, like Heaven's Gate and Ever Smile, New Jersey. So hopefully I'll pop some of these in. And THX. I think if I'm going to watch something,
Yeah, dude, watch that.
Because that's short and sweet, and I definitely want to see that in the theater. So.
Well, in my mind, half of the stuff that I own is for retirement, so you can do this. You can do the same plan.
Right.
Excellent.
You can borrow my copy of Photographing Fairies to watch that.
Thank you.
I'm good. All right, let's do some mailbag. You guys ready to answer some questions?
Yeah, did everybody prepare?
Yeah, I hope you're ready.
I don't know. I don't know if we saw all the questions.
Retro Scaler 2X
All right.
is the answer.
All right, well, get ready. All right, first up, we got a question from Chris Bingham. Does anyone have any cool RLV or 3M discs? I think I know someone who might have some.
I've got a couple of just cool kind of test disc things. I never knew what these were. Like this is Rounders. It's just in a plain plastic sleeve.
That's cool.
It's hard to see, but it's literally labeled.
Yeah.
It's
like a full press. It's not like a red.
Yeah, no, this is A and B. You can't see it because my lights, but it's handwritten.
Wow.
Rounders.
You have Pitch Black there as well?
I do not have
Only
Pitch
Moikey
Black.
has that.
I've got a bunch of these, that's Palmetto, where it's just typewritten. We think these might be hotel discs.
Oh.
I don't know what they are, but I do have Technidisc disc, and you can't see it because my light labeled Beauty and the Beast, but it does indeed have one side is silver and then this side is red. So
there's some RLV for you.
Everyone's got the blood red Evil Dead. I'm the only one that I know that has the blood red Beauty and the Beast. And it plays perfectly in every player that I've got.
Yeah, it's like the rose.
It's the finished version, not the work print one?
I don't honestly know. It's side 3 of whatever it is.
It's not even the full thing.
Yeah, it's not. It's just one side of the movie.
Do you have any Wizard Mouse?
I do not have Wizard Mouse.
So did you hear that? Peter also needs a copy of Wizard Mouse.
Yes.
If anyone's got
I'll
wants to send him
include that for you.
something.
What do you got, Maxine?
I'll throw that in your box.
Nice.
So I have this is a 3M. This is Mazda Central 1986 Salesman Tour.
Nice.
The label looks like that.
Nice.
But yeah, just chapter 2, James Garner intro and national ads, and then the salesman tour is on the other side.
Man, Garner.
And then I, a long time ago, I don't even know how long ago now, met a person who worked at the pressing plant for Pioneer. And so I have some very interesting, they're just handwritten.
Nice, Valley Girl.
And this one is Valley Girl, and it's actually on there. It
That's
looks
awesome.
like garbage because it's very rotted, but it's there. It's watchable.
Man.
And so I have a few that are like that. I'll show some cool ones.
Is that from the old
19
Carson City plant?
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the location, and then scanners.
Ooh,
Nice.
cool.
And that has double-sided labels. Some of them don't actually have class 1984. Like, there's just a label on the one side. Like they didn't feel like doing that.
Like, we're over it.
This is the other really weird one. That's a 3M. This one is like, it's an OBGYN medical office disc that would be on in the waiting room. So it's just like health stuff.
It doesn't teach like self-examination, does it?
No, it does not.
Oh, okay.
It's a different
But
category,
it's
Peter.
like,
Because the disc works as a mirror.
Yeah, one side is there, and then
Wow.
it's the silver side, but it does have the white dead side, which not all of the 3M ones I've had are like that, but that one is. I have some other ones that say proof disc on the label, but I didn't put them in this stack, so I got more from the same person, and they would say like Pioneer, and then on the label part it would say proof disc.
You would think these things are unique and they'd be worth something and somebody would care, but when I got mine, the guy couldn't, I forget who it was, but he couldn't give them away on LaserDisc Forever. I finally paid him like something plus shipping for them. I got about 50 discs and there was no interest at all in them.
Yeah, most of the stuff that's actually rare.
Yeah, people don't care about. They just want what other people think is cool.
Yep.
And I kicked myself because I was at a Salvation Army before I was really into LaserDiscs. I just started. I probably had like 50 discs or less. And they had all of these Circuit City discs. And I just left them. And it was in Chicago. And I'm sure that it was like monthly videos. And I kicked myself now thinking back to it because I'm like, I would have loved them. But I had no idea what they were. I was like, is this like recorded like camera footage of the store or God knows what? But it was before I really like knew the rabbit hole that was LaserDisc. So, I was looking for like, fighting movies still.
Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah, Spinny knows what this is. This has been on my very, very special favorited shelf for a very long time. And then, so it wasn't in with my other shelf where I keep all my demo things. But this disc, great cover.
Cover's amazing.
Yeah.
But the disc is all Swatch Museum of Unnatural History 1988. Swatch USA. All just Swatch ads. And I am a huge, huge Swatch fan.
Like that's literally got to be the only copy in existence.
I mean,
it must be.
I traded it. I traded it for the Doors box. So
yes,
nice.
I remember that.
I knew she'd want to appreciate it more than I did. It was cool. I liked having it. There's some cool videos on it. The Louis Sum and the Thompson Twins.
Oh, Thompson Twins, nice.
In the 80s, yeah.
It had, so many things because, I didn't even know about the Fun Gear, which was all like the clothing line, and this showed me so many things that I went and thought out, and now I have a bunch of the clothes that they're wearing in this. I have the twin phones now,
Right. Fat Boys are in it too, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, Fat Boys are in them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a bunch of ones that were in multiplex preview loops, so trailers and stuff. And one of them has an entire side, like in the middle of the trailers and the commercials, they sprinkle in these missing children.
Oh no!
And then Moiki one time went out, like I put up some still frames and he started researching them, and none of those kids were found. It was they were all from like 80s something. It was sad. You're just watching trailers and then suddenly it's like missing child.
So if this episode wasn't dark enough yet,
Vinny just brought
all
it
of the
down.
missing children never were found.
Half this podcast is redacted.
Yeah.
It's
too bad. I'm leaving it all in.
Oh my God, no.
You can do your own. You can do like a cover of Runaway Train with those.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Were they taken away for speaking the wrong language?
Terrible.
Are you guys ready for another question?
Yes, please get us rolling again.
All right, Samuel Williamson wants to know, what is your favorite one-liner movie from the 80s? So I'm assuming that could also just mean cool quotes or something. It doesn't have to be one-liners. So
I think movie, I got to say Ghostbusters. It's got so many quotable lines. Like, for example, Ray, when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Yeah.
And just other random things from it. It's just really good.
Yeah, if I'm tempted, Better Off Dead is one. And Aliens is one, but let's see. Do I have it? I think I might have my number one quotable movie.
Have these ready to go?
Trouble in Little China.
Nice.
So I quote from this nonstop, so it's good stuff.
I'd say Spinal Tap. I don't think a day goes by where you don't quote Spinal Tap, for me anyway. These
That's
go
a good one.
London, or Boston's not a big college town. And it's just like, constant. There's always a situation that lends itself to a Spinal Tap quote.
Artie Fufkin.
At my office, we have an old dimmer switch that doesn't work in our area. And so we took and wrote on it with a Sharpie internet speed, and we have it 1 to 11.
Nice.
And people will ask us, does that really work? No, it's a dimmer switch.
What's a dick for?
My favorite quotable 80s movie would have to be Mr. T in Rocky 3. Literally every line he has is just an awesome quote. Prediction, pain. After I crucify him, you next. Like every single line he has is quotable.
Right.
Nice. Anybody else?
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna do the quote and see if you can guess the film. So it's Red Snapper, very tasty.
UHF.
Yes. I love that film. Yeah, there's a bunch of cool quotes there. In that,
You're
85,
stupid. So
95,
stupid.
$1, and that's Pinto. If you guys know who Pinto Colvig was, he was the guy that did the voice for Goofy, and it's his son who was Bozo the Clown, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of something orange.
Yep.
Something orange. Give up. It's an orange.
My mop.
Stanley Spadowski is the best.
Yeah, it's a great comedy. Too bad Batman came out that year and ruined the box office for Weird Al. And I know someone here has seen it in the theaters, and I would like to touch him.
Go on.
You were the only one.
Everybody touch me. Yeah. No, I went with my parents and a friend of the family, so there was like 4 of us. Good times. All right, you guys ready for another question?
Yep. Yes.
All right. Rob Washer wants to know. He's writing to see what the recommended storage room temperature or humidity level should be for ideal LaserDisc storage. So, I mean, I don't know if there's an exact temperature, but
I keep
like
my
a wine
basement
cell.
like 65-ish, just because it's basement, and then I try to keep
That's
my
good.
humidifier running, keeping it down right around 40 or less. Usually
Dehumidifier.
less. Yeah,
I think like
dehumidifier.
35 to 45 is recommended. So,
Yeah, and it's also good for vinyl as well. So
yes, true. Yeah, there's some tales about when
45 degrees Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit. Yeah,
He's talking about the humidity.
the humidity.
the percentage.
Yeah.
65 to 70 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, 65 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Seth, can you translate all of that to Celsius and
So
metric and
40. Okay, so 65 Fahrenheit. Okay, so 65.
You want like the Shining level. That's the cold you want. You want to look like Nicholson in The Shining.
Supposedly, Maxene's friends at the Carson City plant did some like extensive heat and cold, like adventurous experiments on LaserDisc, and they found that it can pretty much withstand anything next to melting heat. And if it's freezing, you just don't break it over your knee, basically. But so it's mostly the humidity that's the problem.
I would totally agree with that. I feel like in California it has pretty much ideal conditions if you're able to, like, at the bare minimum in summer, like have like a fan that's pulling hot air out and keeping it be a stable temperature, or if you're having air conditioning running for your own stable temperature, that's obviously the best, because if you're comfortable, they're comfortable. But I mean, for the most part, like dry is really the most important, because moisture is death to them. So,
Yes.
and humidity is the moisture in the air, and we just have dry we've had a little bit of humidity, which has been weird, but like we've had mainly dry summers for all the time I've owned LaserDiscs. So
When you're not on fire, you mean?
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
you're a little
Fire,
extreme
obviously.
right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. Thank
I haven't given much thought, but recently as I go downstairs, I've been worried that it's a touch humid. Usually it's the coldest room in the house, the theater. But
Do you have a dehumidifier running?
I never have in
You
6
should get one.
there, so I mean I have one. I just
You'd be amazed, at least in my basement, if
Yeah.
you set that thing to 45,
Yeah.
it's every couple days you're dumping out gallons of water that's pulling out of the air. Yeah, it's a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
There you
Or
go.
if you have an exposed drain in like a utility area,
That's
run
what
it in
I-
there with a hose going right into the
Continuous,
drain, and then you never have to worry about emptying it.
But it is kind of a pain, because you got to shut it off when you're actually down here watching something.
Right.
You got to remember to turn it back on, when you leave, so it can actually.
Not an issue for me. I'm barely down there. So.
All right. We got another one coming in from Sir Betimus Nuclei. You may know him as Beat Knuckle. What's the worst placement of an LD side break that you've experienced?
Well, I just ran into one.
Oh,
So this movie is 124 minutes long, I believe. They cut it with the last 5 minutes of the movie,
ooh, that's bad.
and then 5 minutes of credits, and it's like, so like it's
Just
the
give up.
end of the sequence. If
Like
if you know the
standing
movie,
at the seacoast or whatever, right?
they could have cut it like right before the doves or something, but no, like last 5 minutes. So it's just a really odd break.
Yeah.
And I just was
That's
like,
lazy.
really? And then I looked it up, and like they have it on LDDB. They're like, yeah, it's the last 5 minutes, and I'm like, it really is the last 5 minutes. It's why. I mean, they had to do multiple discs. They could have planned it. I don't know if the guy was like sleeping because he was making DVDs during the day. I don't know.
Man. My go-to is always Reservoir Dogs, the U.S. pressing, because I don't have the Japanese one yet. I don't know if that's better, but nice guy Eddie shows up and he's yelling at Michael Madsen, and he just kind of like their conversation gets cut off mid-sentence and then it flips and then it just kind of resumes. It's really bad. So anybody else? Stinkers?
I don't actually watch these things.
I only remember the good ones.
Own.
Uncle Buck's always my favorite. Right after he punches the clown.
There's some good. Outland is a really good one.
Yeah.
Like Outland, like Sean Connery, like cocks a shotgun. He's like, hey, stop that, think it over, or something like that, and then it just stops. There's some really good ones.
Bond in space.
Bond in space, baby. All right, so Tom Petreca wants to know, what are some of the best and most versatile standalone AC3 RF demodulators? How versatile? I guess the ones that would be versatile would be the ones that would also pump through other digital signals and auto sense. I don't have one that does that, so maybe some of you guys have some of the fancier ones.
Yeah, I have two like that. And actually, before we started recording here, I was reading a thing on LDF where a guy got a lexicon demodulator, and everyone was kind of throwing shade at him and saying, "Oh, it's going to sound the same. It's going to be the same." They're not all the same. They're, like you said, the first thing is there's ones where you plug in, like I've got a EAD that I got from Ryan, and I've got a Meridian, and you plug in both the regular digital out and you plug in the AC3 out, and if the AC3 is available, it picks it automatically, so there's no switching inputs on my AVR. If I have the AVR turned on to the right input, it's automatically going to play an AC3 if it's available, and if it's not, it's going to play the regular digital audio. But there's also like the standard Pioneer demodulators. Bill's got one, and when we repaired my Sony C1, which came with a AC3 out added onto it, he thought it didn't work because it wouldn't work in his demodulator. And as soon as I got him back here with the Meridian and the EAD, it worked perfectly. So it's like some of them can lock on to maybe weak or different whatever signals. Like that Lexicon's definitely got a switch on there, and that's what it's made for. It's to adjust for different signals coming out of the player. So they're not all the same. There are good and there are bad. I would, if I was a new guy shopping for a demodulator, I would make sure I got one that was auto switching, because it's just so much more convenient. You never have to think about it. You never get to where you forgot to switch to the AC3 input and you're not even watching AC3 and you don't realize until halfway through the movie.
Can you override it if you're like, I want to listen to ProLogic for some reason? Can you like bypass it?
No, you cannot. It's automatically going to pick the AC3 track every time if it's available. So that's the only thing I would recommend. I would recommend getting one that's auto switching if you can find it.
I'm not a fan of the processors only that don't also pump out a digital signal. They just only pump out the 6 RCA jacks, and then they process the base management themselves. Mostly because I already set all my base management up on my receiver, and I don't want to do that twice. And so I'm not a super fan of those. Like the DDP? I forgot. There's the ADP is the little standalone Yamaha box, right? And then
SP99D.
Yeah.
SP99D also doesn't pump out a digital either, does it?
No. The big problem I've had with that one in particular is trying to get the lip sync correct, because you're not there. You got analog coming out one, you got digital. Whereas with if you're going digital out, you can plug both digital into your processor or whatever, and it's going to sync them up, or you can sync them up yourself. But that's the problem I always had with that one. But that SP99D is really nice. In fact, that's what that one guy on the post was kind of, oh, you got the cool Lexicon. All I got was this SP99D, and I'm like, well, yours is nicer than his. You just don't realize it.
Yeah, Donald on LDF just got one. A couple of weeks ago. So he's been. I think he just got his 5.1 set up. So shout outs to Donald.
His 5.1 soundbar.
No, I think he's got 5 individual speakers. He didn't go monkey style. Speaking of Donald, he wants to know, is it worth the extra money to get a DTS disc over an AC3 one?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. If you have it. If you
can get it. I mean,
not a ton of money. I mean, it depends what you want.
Yeah.
If it's Dark City, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. I don't really trust
my first DTS disc was Great Expectations. It was like $14.95. I just got it to see what it was all about, and it was just a simple scene of them like in the rain, and I was like, wow, I just never heard. I was completely surrounded by rain. I'm like, this is amazing. So, you know.
Also, the surrounds were probably 3 decibels too hot because that was something DTS liked to do for a while.
Yeah. Right, why not?
But yeah, Ken Cranes was great for getting those cheap DTS discs. I got that and Last Man Standing and Long Kiss Goodnight for like, I don't know, under $20, definitely. Some of them are probably under
Can you
10.
get me a Casper?
What's that?
You find me a Casper?
You need a Casper? I don't have one, but if I find one, I'll get it for you.
I got a Casper.
That one's one of the cheaper ones, thankfully.
I know a guy who
But yeah, I'm pretty cheap, so I have not actively sought out any DTS discs over $25. So
Yeah,
sorry, kids.
In addition to the sound, which if you compare a DTS to an AC3, it's just the sound is so much fuller, and it's like comparing a 128 MP3 to a FLAC file. It's you could feel it. And then picture quality also on the DTS discs is also generally better. They're better mastered. They have the super.
Hooray.
Yeah, they're so if you watch regular GoldenEye and then you watch the DTS GoldenEye, it's visibly a nicer disc. So
yeah, I think it's mostly
the pan and scan, right?
yeah, the pan scan's better. But yeah, it's mostly worth chasing after them for those later pressings.
Yeah, so I would say definitely DTS are more desirable and worth it to chase down. And the problem is they're just like everything in LaserDisc these days. They're starting to get expensive because you got, instead of 10 people trying to look for them, you got 100 people trying to look for them. And then every time somebody shows one off, 100 more people want to buy it. So you end up with these stupid prices on everything.
There's a really good deal.
So you actually mean AC3 is a lot better is what you really mean.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
AC3 is a great way to get great sound for $2-3 for a lot of them.
For the record, AC3 has a better bit rate than
it's
the
48
exact
kilobit.
same Dolby Digital films in the theaters. So so
that's
LaserDisc is the same, if not better, than the movie theater version. So
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the DTS was stored on a CD in the
Yes.
movie theater, whereas it was stored between the sprocket holes.
Between the sprocket holes,
like
a
little
QR code.
Yeah, you can see I found a little film strip when I was clearing out a storage unit, and you could look at the Dolby logo in between the sprocket holes.
And it had like a redundancy, so if the film strip like broke, it had like a little bit of the previous one, that information like carried over, I guess. So you could still have no dropouts. But
all you retro guys that are plugging your LaserDisc player and your RCA cables directly into your CRT, it's not going to work for DTS. So don't even bother.
Yeah, you're going to hear some noise.
Yeah, it's not going to be pleasant.
Yeah, you'll have to have a remote to change it to the analog.
You have to have a somewhat modern receiver that can decode DTS. They don't make, well, they might, but they don't have like external DTS decoders like they do for AC3. You need a somewhat modern AVR that can process it.
I always wondered what Technics came out with them before they started putting them in DTS decoders and receivers. You could buy this cool, I think it was like the SHAC 300 or something, and it had like DTS because you couldn't wait. Same thing though, you have to pump out 6 analog jacks to your receiver, so it's a lot of extra work. So but anyways, cool. All right, we're almost done. We got a few more questions. You guys are in for the long haul. James Robinson wants to know, do you think a good 4K TV and upscaling receiver can replace the hordes of gear some people currently use? We're looking at you, Peter.
Well, here, this is actually interesting because I just had a guy leave a comment, like a question on one of my YouTube videos, and his question was, your projector only does 4K. I'm trying to think. Yeah. So
it does do 8K.
I don't know if people understand. So if you're watching a digital, whether it be a television, a projector, whatever, it's going to show up in its native resolution. So you can't plug in a 480i video signal to your 4K TV. You're not watching it in 480i. So I think people get confused there. And I think that in their minds, they're doing something that's quote unquote pure by plugging their composite LaserDisc player right on their 4K TV and not going through the so-called black box boogie woogie external processing. The TV's doing it. It's all built into the TV. So when you're saying, what was his question exactly? How did he word it?
Well, it was, do you think a good 4K TV and upscaling receiver can replace the hordes of gear some people? So basically,
So if you leave
instead
off
of
the
outboard stuff,
if you leave off the upscaling receiver, your TV's doing it. So you're anytime anyone plugs into a modern TV, whether any sort of flat screen, LCD, a 720p plasma from back in the day, it's doing some sort of upscaling to your LaserDiscs. It's not the only way you're seeing actual 480 without any upscales if you're watching on an old CRT or an old CRT projector. If you're watching on a 1080p TV, it's being automatically upscaled to 1080p unless you do it externally. If you're watching a 4K TV, it's automatically upscaling it. So, but the answer to the question is it depends what you're trying to do. I mean, if you want the absolute best picture quality that you could find, you're not going to get it from a receiver or a TV. You're going to need some sort of external processing like we do. But if you're just looking for something that really makes LaserDisc look acceptable in the digital age, most of these 4K TVs seem to do a very good job at it, and a lot of receivers seem to do a very good job at it. So it's just a matter of what you're chasing. If you just want to be able to watch your discs, plug them into anything. If you want something that looks good, you know, in modern TVs, get one of these newer, and even a $500 4K TV supposedly makes these things look pretty good. So it I think all depends on what you're willing to look. I mean, the way he's wording it and just knowing who he is, it's kind of a loaded question. Like, you don't really need all that garbage, do you?
It's throwing shade at you.
Yeah, you no, you don't. If that's not what your goal is. If your goal is to just watch some cheap movies, you know, no, you don't need any of this stuff. But if your goal is to try and make your home theater as high end as possible and give you as good a picture as possible for all the formats, then absolutely you need some external processing.
All right.
So what I'm thinking is like a modern TV will, you know, do some of the things, but what will do it the best? So
yeah,
the 4K TV, perhaps it's pretty good at scaling up 1080 to 4K, but how good is it at scaling up 480i to that? So if we plug that into a scaler that's good at handling 480i, which is like the Denon you and me have, Peter, and before that, well, that thing doesn't comb well, so we need something to comb it. We plug it into something to comb it, and then something that scales it, and So
the other thing I'd like to say is this is not unique to LaserDisc. We're actually going through this all over again right now with 4K discs, because you're talking about tone mapping of the HDR. Some TVs can get really, really bright and can show, you know, these really bright discs the way they should be. Some can't. Most projectors, they don't. They're not near bright enough, so you need something to do the tone mapping. So like my JVC projector just recently, within the last year, got a firmware update to do some really good tone mapping, and it does give good results. But if you want really, really good 4K HDR in a projector, you really need an external, like a Lumagen Pro, or they have a computer program, I forget what it's called, but they're what's that?
Like I don't know what it's called, but it's an HTPC thing you need to.
Well, no, they have a computer program that does this, and they're actually coming out with a standalone box to do it also. But something needs to do the HDR tone mapping, which is taking all this dynamic range that your projector can't show and squeezing it into what your projector can show. Otherwise, you have a really, really dark image. So this is not unique to LaserDisc. It's right now happening. If you want to collect 4K discs and own a projector, you need something externally, because the JVC is the only one I think that can do it any kind of good job at it. And they do make 4K players that do something, but it's really there's no way to do it well right now without a Lumagen Pro or some other black box boogie woogie. So I just want to say that this is not something that's unique to LaserDisc and some sort of blasphemous to use external hardware to watch your disc. Everyone's doing it right now. Any projector owner that's collecting 4K right now, a good percentage of them, at least that own Sony and JVC, the nicer native 4K projectors, are all buying these Lumagens or and I can't remember what the other external solution is, but they're doing that. So it's not unique to LaserDisc.
I think everyone just accepts it in a modern situation, but there's a lot of resentment about anything interesting like that being applied to what has been conceived as, or misconceived as, a stupid old VHS like thing. So so you got you fancy highbrow guys, highfalutin dudes adding all this stuff to this thing that's supposed to suck. Yeah, and it just pisses people off.
That's why I like to highlight some posts sometimes when it's just the guy with a 4K TV and it playing LaserDisc and looks good. And I do that to remind people, like, hey, you don't, because 20 posts will be about, all the box stuff and then the upscaling stuff. And then people forget, like, you don't have to do that. I feel like some people come to that group and they think, oh shit, now I got to do all this stuff. You don't have to, really. You can get a decent picture if you zoom it correctly. If you know what you're doing,
Calibrate it.
Yeah,
Calibrate.
that's like I said the last time. I remember that's the biggest thing is the calibration. We've had a whole rash of people posting incorrect aspect ratio and these super blue pictures. It's like you could put any processor in that chain you want. If you don't calibrate that picture, it's not going to look right.
I mean, or you can just get a retroscaler 2X.
Yeah, retroscaler 2X.
Always good.
Oof.
All right, now here's one. David Dumbell wants to know, what's the most bizarre, strange, or downright odd disc you own? I don't know if I have anything odd or that strange, really. So I'm sure Maxeene already showed most of them.
She's got all of them in the country.
No way. I have all of them for sure, but I'm not even close to showing a small little percentage of the bizarre ones.
Yeah.
You should do like a part of your website, like just a gallery of weird discs.
I just have missing children. That's it.
I sold the strangest disc I owned to Altman.
What was that?
It's like Gestapo's Last Orgy.
Oh, one of those, yeah.
Yeah.
I have one from Japan.
Not our Altman, a different Altman.
Yeah. I have one from Japan that I think is part of the Star Wars saga. It's got like this weird talking dude.
Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
That's just this guy.
I mean, I do have those weird art house ones that Moiki gave me, like Derek Jarman's The Garden and that one Longe or The Angel. There's like really experimental stuff. I didn't pull them, but you can see them in some of my old videos. Watch all of my videos and you'll see them evenally.
You do have a cool space shuttle video, don't you?
Yeah, I have that one cartoon that said Space Cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's
a good one.
Bizarre ones. Yep. That's just like, I don't even. It's clearly like an advertisement, but like it's also Hanna-Barbera, and it's just like introduced by these cartoons that are in a spaceship, and it's very weird. But it just was really randomly labeled as space cartoons. It was from the pressing factory from that same collection I got. Nice. I also have some other weird one that I haven't. It's just the cover just says rock music. See what it is. That should be interesting. But I have a bunch that are that kind of vibe where the cover says something or just the disc says something and it's just really vague and you're like, could be anything. Yeah. So, and there was porn in there, so there could be porn in there. So.
There could be porn. I saw that movie. Yeah. I would say Dunderklumpen, but that's just a regular common in Seth's land.
Yeah, you got that one, Maxeene.
I did.
I gave Maxeene that for Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah. So I would. That's the disc I would want actually. But I also my weirdest stuff is like weird animation I got from Denmark. A guy that had everything, like all the anime, all the Criterions, and he got like stuff like this, like West and Soda.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like weird Italian animation, but this looks. I haven't seen it, but it looks cool. It looks sort of like 50s animation stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool
yeah. But that's probably the weirdest stuff I have, like weird animation stuff.
Oh, I almost forgot about the video drug. There's these ones called video drug.
Yeah, I saw those.
Yeah, I have a few of those.
Ah, yeah, those. Yeah.
They're like, and they're also called like video tranquilizer, which is hilarious title, but like. Yeah, there's one person in the group who was collecting like every one of those kind of computer animation or just kind of bizarro titles type ones. And so I learned more than I ever wanted to know, trying to like figure out what all I had versus like, what they were looking for, and just like it's a lot of ones and they're all really, really cool. Wow. There's one called Infinite Escher. That's all just like
MC Escher.
Yeah,
that's cool.
There's some If you want to go into a whole deep session of talking about bizarro discs, the one.
I saw my Head Candy. Do you have Head Candy?
Yes, I do have Head Candy.
And that's got 3D glasses, if I remember correctly.
It does have 3D glasses. It's so sick. That one is a trip to watch. Nice. That one's very cool. The roller coaster ones are cool.
Wow.
There's like several roller coaster like thrills and chills ones.
Peter's buying all those right now. I can see him down there sniping.
The Maze Mania one where it's like a maze in trivia. Like
that one's so good.
That's interactive, right?
But
it's I've played that one. It's a little tedious, but it's very fun. There's one of the mazes is like a horror themed one, and there's like Dracula. It's really fun.
I'd be worried that I have to use the remote too much.
You do have to use the remote.
Actually, I have to learn about it. I heard you just say
watch it ish. So if you just wanted to kind of step through it, you could.
Yeah.
LaserActive, Sam. So are you now shopping for Muse discs, LaserActive discs, or both?
Not actively after the if I trip across some LaserActive stuff, but Max supposedly has some stuff, so maybe I'll get some.
Your wallet's going to be hurting here soon.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to rush right into any of this stuff.
You got to get it all 3 weeks, Sam.
I know, right? This is the new standard.
A complete DTS collection now.
We'll get you all the packs in the next week.
All right, cool.
You got to get them at all costs.
We're almost done. Donald Melody also wanted to know, is this for tonight's podcast?
No.
Nope.
Technically, it's for Sunday nights. And Jared Brown wants to know, how important is LDDB?
I'd say it's extremely.
Yeah. I mean, I was just talking with Bill the other day about, because he's discovering a lot of weird things about DVD and HD DVD, how Warner Brothers in particular had a bunch of bad replication in like the 2006 period. And we were saying about how there's no equivalent now to tracking that optical media. There's no, I mean, HD DVDs in the LDDB, but there's no like big DVD database that, I mean, the amount of information in there from the mint marks to the rot thing, you know, we always complain about it not being complete enough and that sort of thing, but the fact that it's there. Yeah, I know, exactly. It's just up to us to do it.
LDDB
and everything
is awesome, except for the fact that these people love to use it to quote prices and to somehow think their discs are worth way more than they actually are because someone's offering another one for sale on LDDB for X amount of dollars.
For 10 years.
Yeah. Just because somebody wants $999 for a disc does not make that disc worth $999. It's a point of reference, and you have to really take a lot of those sellers with a grain of salt because they're not actually trying to sell their discs. They just have them up there at stupid prices.
Yeah, they're just trying to showcase their collection.
Switzerland.
Yes.
Switzerland.
There's some dollar signs and a Swiss flag just walking.
Whatever he's got listed for, just divide it by 3, and that's about what you could expect to pay.
Hey, the Pan and Scan 2 Jakes sold for $1.99.
Excellent. That's a $10 disc at least, Ryan.
At least.
But I mean, I reference the LDDB all the time. Just thinking of little facts, tidbits, things like that, and it's always useful. So.
It's very, very useful for aspect ratios too. People that don't know how to figure this out by themselves could really use that and kind of figure out what it's supposed to look like. But I don't know that anyone's realized that yet.
I use it a lot when I'm out and I see something. First of all, to see if I have it or if there's a better version, or should I? I picked up a Dances with Wolves recently, and it was the trifold.
Yep.
And I knew I had the regular one, so I was gonna get it, but then I'm like, this is longer than the one I saw. That one's fine. It's long enough, so I left it. But just things like that you can research while you're looking around.
Yeah. Again, the first thing, if you're getting into collecting, just start logging your stuff into the LDDB.
Put it all in.
Yeah.
It's going to be rough early because you got to catalog all the stuff, but once you do it and keep up with it, it's great.
I'm going to get on that one of these days.
What? You don't have a catalog?
That was my quarantine.
It's all up here.
Oh.
Yeah. How's that working out for you, Peter?
Yeah.
I have tons and tons of doubles.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, all right. So that was the last question. So we got hot topics rolling in. What do you guys want to chat about? What's been going on in the world of LaserDisc collecting?
I mean, if I buy a widescreen modern display, I want to use all of the pixels for my pan and scan, right?
Well, you paid for those. Let the art be like.
That's how it was intended, right?
Push in. Yeah, you're supposed to use the screen to make.
Is there a
prime thing?
Bigger pet peeve for anyone than the guy that, or not just a guy, they all do it. The new guys that post their picture of their screen and say how awesome this or that looks, how awesome this or that processor or whatever they got, and inevitably it's in the completely wrong aspect ratio. It's completely squished down one way or another. It's like, how can you have any credibility at all when you're bragging about how good something looks when it's not in the aspect ratio? And then inevitably they all double down and say, well, that's the way I mean to watch it. Like, you mean to watch it wrong? That makes zero sense.
Especially if it's a letterboxed one. So it's like, I mean to watch more black bars.
Yeah, exactly. It's they're squishing it down to make it fill even less of the screen than it's supposed to. It's like,
I thought we'd close the book on it after Sam's video.
Never.
No. There's just an influx of people.
Yeah, I think that it's been a lot of new people that have just started, and I mean, even in the past 3-4 months, it just seems like every day I just found a player and I've got these 6 discs, and what should I get next? And it's like, don't ask anyone else because they're either going to give you a terrible answer or they're going to say speed, which is terrible, but at least it's obtainable.
Yeah.
Like, just go out and find discs at a half-price books or a record store or whatever, and then, like, once you've figured out what you really like, then get to the LaserDisc database and start digging.
There does seem to be a lot of people that don't really have any likes of their own. It's like they want to see what other people find cool. And like, we just take Hulk Hogan, for example. Nobody thought any of that was until Ryan started with the Hulk Hogan. And it's like everyone, oh God, that's so cool. Like, find something that you like, not what Ryan likes. I don't know.
Can't
Like
find
me, I like
Hogan
dumbass
discs.
comments.
Yeah, exactly.
People are always amazed when I say I don't own anything I don't like. I just don't. I mean,
How are you going to impress us, though?
Yeah.
other than Phantom Menace. And look, there's about 75 discs in there I've never seen. So, but
And no matter how cool Suburban Commando is, you're not going to go track down a copy, right?
right.
Yeah. 0 copies for sale on eBay right now.
Oh yeah.
I can tell you, I'd like to check in and tell you who our top contributors are. And Ryan, you are in position 1 at the moment,
Nice.
as of this taping. So Sam, you're in the top 5 as well.
I'm out of the top 10, I hope.
What about Melodia? Did he make it?
Luke's in the top 10, Bill, but no. I have to scroll quite a ways to get to you guys, so that's good. That means you're
What about Mark? He's been posting a lot. Karma River? Did he make it?
Karma's 5th, yeah.
All right. Nice. Shout out to Mark.
Yeah. And then 2 guys, I don't know why I don't recognize their names. Michael and Donald. I don't know if they want me to say that.
Those guys
Oh,
are
that's
brand-
Donald. Yeah, that's the guy I was asking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Michael he's been posting a lot.
Yep. Shout out to Donald.
I used to be in the top 5, right? But I have been taking a pretty long break from LDF. So
Yeah, what you been doing? Building up your storage unit?
Yeah, no, I got tired at one point. So, but I don't do rage quits, just leave groups. I just stopped following it, and then apparently there's been a bunch of stuff with people doing that, stretching things. I don't want to listen to you. I want to buy 15 bad things that everyone else suggests. Instead
But that's actually what makes it interesting is being able to laugh at the whatever. I mean, it's just so like it's so crazy.
Yeah, well, it's like a reality show, but on Facebook.
Yeah. I'm waiting for, there's a thread right now about what device or display you use to watch most of your LaserDiscs on. And as of press time, it hadn't gone south yet, but I'm waiting for it.
That's like a weekly thread that somebody asked the same question in a different way.
Oh, I've answered that 1,000 times.
Yeah, no one knows how to use
it. Always
Hashtag
gets
forever so many times.
It always gets 100 or so replies because everyone's just so anxious to go in there and tell you about their 37-inch 720p TV that makes everything look awesome. Like no, everybody just gets off on that for some reason.
I have a question for everyone, but Seth reminded me as he brought home that 502. So I know you have a better player than that. Mm-hmm. So what will you do with that 502?
I will probably keep it, and if someone in the area would want one just to get on the format, I would get rid of it cheap, throw in some duplicates. I don't think that there's the market for that here, or if a friend says, yeah, I might get a player when I get a house or get more room. Yeah, that would be his, and trade it for like a Blu-ray or something.
Right.
So yeah, and you sometimes use it for testing. I've got my old karaoke player, 504 could it be, I don't know, but yeah, that's a workhorse, and I use that for testing, so that's also a good thing to use them for, to just test discs to see if there's rot. So
yeah, 500s are great test players. Bill just worked on a 503 and he actually loves it. It doesn't smear as much.
I actually helped him on that one because I have a lot of experience with those 5.0s. All my painted players are the 500 series.
They're nice. They're nice, like kind of middle of the road. They're not usually that expensive. Yeah. And
I'm behind me on the floor open because it's not working.
Oh,
6 next to it, but they just came with a lot that so they're just sitting there. If I fix them,
then if you get the 4 and the 5, you get AC3 with them too. So
yeah,
they're awesome if you spend 96 hours totally recapping and fully calibrating them with a scope
and leaving it out in the sun to get rid of the smoke smell.
Yeah, there you go.
But the tappy smell.
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah, the sun is great. It just kind of vaporizes all that stench and everything. So yeah, it's a good way to do it. Cool. Any other hot burning subjects you guys want to discuss?
I think the big one was we've already hit on the scaler and the CRTs.
The airing of the grievances has been completed.
I would say don't post one day about your awesome pickups and then list your entire post on eBay the next day. You're obviously not watching any of them.
That's an
Mega
unbreakable.
flippage.
Like,
ROI.
I don't care if anyone like buys something and sells it, but don't buy something off another member in the group, post it as a pickup, and then put it on eBay.
Actually, that reminds me. There was, I think, about a week or so ago, there was a thread about just flippers in general, and the entire pretty much LDF was just entirely dick riding flippers, and they were like, "Make that bank, bro!" Yeah. And then someone's like, "Well, what about like a community kind of vibe?" And they're like, "F that." So,
It's the Ohio guy that like lowballs everyone on eBay and
yes,
then
that guy
makes up prices that are well beyond the market, hoping that like somebody buys it because they want it really bad and don't do any comparison shopping or won't wait for a day, because we have that issue in this hobby now where people want something and they just pay whatever to say they have it now.
Yeah. 90% of the people were like 100% on that dude's side. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and it was weird. And it's like, no, that guy is a douche and has multiple accounts. And I blocked multiple accounts because the guy just like anytime I list something that's horror, I can wake up to a $5 or $10 offer and
yeah. So if you're looking for something like the LP community with their vinyl love train thing, you're not going to find it in LDF. Those guys are like all like, and even if they get raped by those guys fiscally, they're like still like, yeah, you took all my money. You're a baller.
I'll gladly get rid of duplicates any day or something that I watch that I just don't like. But man, like I'm not in this to build a house or to jump on other people's threads and try and sell stuff on other people's pickups.
Finder's fee, Ryan.
Yeah.
What happened to the? Is this guy still around? That was on eBay. He was out in California, the Ultimate Shopping Center, or whatever.
Still
his name
going.
Was. Is
Yeah,
he?
because he was trying to sell everything at one point, right? Like,
Yeah. Well, that guy he bought a Macintosh player from me one time that wasn't working, and I advertised it wasn't working. I sold it. The AC3 wasn't working. I sold it cheap because the AC3 wasn't working. And the next day, it was on there for like triple the price, just pretending like there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, there's always going to be scummy people in the community. It is what it is. It's any collector's community where you can't just buy everything new. And even the new stuff, I mean, you see it in video games that are new if there's like a limited version. So it is what it is.
Good times.
We've been having this discussion in the Swedish group as well, and we have a very small auction site. There's not that many players in Sweden, so it's very small. So there's one store there. So when I search, I get like a couple of guys that sell, and there's one store that's a record store, and they have no clue what things are worth. So they have like a Capricorn 1 with the silver cover and like the round, I don't know what, really early stuff. They want like $300 for that. Not $300, but $30 or something. It's
like,
not
Let It Be.
Yeah, exactly.
Worth that today. Yeah.
And Sense and Sensibility, it's the Emma Thompson film, $30.
The AC3 one, yeah.
Yeah, and it's these. So when you go in there, you will see Friday the 13th, $30. Yeah, that feels sort of okay. And other horror films are listed on, and then you see like these stupid comments. It's like, the only way
out of print.
Yeah.
Aren't they all rare in Sweden though?
They are, but not those. I'm going to put my Sense and Sensibility out for $15 and say it's the lowest price on the auctioning site. Stupid. No, but the only thing I do is I search and I only have from private listings. So most people are private listings that aren't stores. So such an annoying because you just take up space there. I get like a notification every time they list stuff, and it's like, oh, come on. Yeah. What were you saying, Vinny?
I was going to say, at least we're not VHS group. Those guys.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had to explain that joke to Moiki the other day, Dick Schultze.
Oh yeah.
He had no idea what I was talking about. I had to explain to him.
Yeah.
Send him some photos.
For the kids out there that aren't privy, there are a lot of VHS groups, and then there's some in particular that are 5% VHS, 95%
genitalia,
exhibitionist
porn,
but somehow slightly Facebookable
because the VHS gets in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just there as a prop.
I felt dirty buying History of Violence. I bought it because it's the last VHS, and I paid more than I would never pay for a tape, but I just wanted it, so it just felt dirty.
Disinfect it.
Yeah.
You don't know where it's been.
That's true.
Dunkin' and hand
baby.
sanitizer.
Who's got the Cronenberg Japanese box? Mark Rivera was asking me about it, but I thought everyone was saying it's really grainy and the quality's not that good.
I do. It's horrible picture.
It's
That's
not
what I
good.
thought. But it's like 96, right? Like, how did they screw that up?
They're all like pan and scan too.
Yeah,
Aren't
they're not letterboxed either.
It's like they just threw a bunch of old masters together and stuck a name on it. Like, it does not feel like. I mean, it looks good as a box, but it really is not good. Like, I think even like the Brood's on there, and it's better on the Image Entertainment release. I think it is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The standalone widescreen scanners is a really, really nice looking disc, but that box set is horrible.
Yeah, because he was asking about the Mad Max box set and that one. I'm like, get the Mad Max box set, but way before you get the Cronenberg one.
Yeah, that Mad Max one does not come up very often, surprisingly.
Yeah, Bill just got one pretty recently, so he loves it.
Yeah, those Japanese box sets are starting to get a little pricey. We used to just pay $8 or $10 for them all day long.
That's why I'm starting to grab them finally, because I took them for granted for so long. I'm like, I guess I better get this Back to the Future box now, finally.
Like, people show that Indiana Jones, and I'm like, it's just a common box. I was buying those for speaking of doubles, I bought 2 of those years ago.
Biancardi Claus sent me one.
Yeah, because it's like, it's not worth anything. Here, take it. But now they're apparently bringing some money.
$4.50 on Yahoo this past week.
For
the indie?
The indie.
And why is the young Indiana Jones $400 and something?
Well, see, that one's because it's not available as the way it aired. When they put it on VHS on DVD, they turned it into a bunch of movies and they cut out the bits with the old Indiana Jones.
2 years ago, it was a $20 or $30 thing. It wasn't.
Oh yeah.
I think what happens with a new collector, and this happened to me, the first thing you want to do is get box sets. Like, that's what I did. I got T2 and I got Godfather, and I just wanted to get those out of the way because they're impressive, and that's what you think collecting is about. I think those are things people get out of the way early, so they have some value.
Yeah. So young Indy, sorry everybody.
The other bane of my existence is this Song of the South. There's like 5 of them available at any one time, and everyone's asking $300 or $400. Like, how can this be rare? There's 5 of them for sale right this second.
Yeah, and it had common. 2 pressing runs in Japan. So Disney didn't make limited edition anything.
No.
They never have.
Yep.
They may say it's limited edition, but that's in the millions. So
and I thought they were being overpriced, but then I did an eBay search for completed. It's like in the last month or something, there's like 50 of them that sold for $300-$400. Like, how could you all be buying this for that money?
It's because of Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, well, and it's they shut down the water park Splash Mountain that had the characters, because I mean in 2000. Yeah, sorry. They took that out of it. They took the Brer Rabbit marketing out of it. I think they're still.
I thought they were going like completely.
I think it's because these guys in LDF talk about it, and then everyone thinks it's something cool, and then everybody's got to have it. And like you said, Ryan, nobody can be patient and wait to collect anything. It's like, I have to get the next one that's for sale. I don't care what it costs.
I'm gonna put a correlation with the ride and the price jump, because that's exactly what I saw.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's always been like a stupid trophy item, because back in the 2000s I used to be in the home theater forum, and those guys were always after Giorgio Moroder's Metropolis. They couldn't get those fast enough. They drop in hundreds of dollars, and then immediately the Kino version dropped on Blu-ray and it just plummeted. And Song of the South, but that was always like $100 or so. And then when I joined LDF, you realized it was so damn common, and then it seemed like everybody was getting it cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and then
it was never more than 100 for a long time.
Yeah, I've seen 4 of them now in 3 years, and coming across in collections and whatnot.
And then the ride situation hit, and then
I mean,
what was that with the ride?
Was just that they got rid of it and they took away, because they used to sell like
but when was it? Was it recently or
a
couple
months ago?
Oh, okay.
Yep. Right around the same time Gone with the Wind happened. So
if anyone actually wants to watch that movie, not just have it own to own, there's a very nice 35mm scan that you can download.
Yeah, that was on the old Laser Discotheque podcast. That was one of the top 5 overrated trophy discs. It's like nobody really cares about it. Well, maybe somebody cares about it. They only cared about the rarity, but now they only care about the they don't want me to have it factor.
You get The Matrix or Bringing Out the Dead or something like that, you're going to probably watch that 3 or 4 times. What are you going to sit there and watch Song of the South 3 or 4 times? Come on.
Yeah.
I watched it once. That's enough. That's more than enough.
Yeah.
I saw it as a kid. It was available on rental VHS over here, because things. So, but the thing is, like, you got that, I actually got an ad from Wish where they sold a bootleg Blu-ray for Son of the South.
Sounds about right.
Sounds like Wish.
There's no Nick Cage in it, though, so I'm not going to watch it.
No.
Right.
Only watching Cage from here on out. All right, so let's wrap it up. What are you guys going to spin tonight? I think I'm going to watch Con Air because I just got that in the mail, and I haven't watched that yet. What about you, Ryan?
I already spoiled it. If I can find it again real quick. Whatever. Bringing Out the Dead, AC3.
Nice.
Seth?
Excellent.
Well, it's what is it? It's almost 5 a.m. So I won't be watching anything tonight. But tomorrow, I'm actually gonna watch. It's been predetermined. The film you had got, the box set, Sam, the anime film, Ghost in the Shell.
Oh, Ghost in the Shell, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched that whole thing. I forgot to put that in my recently watched, too. I watched that whole box set the day Ryan sent it to me, or the day I got it,
So I've got a US pressing. I heard that there's some issues with that one, so I might watch it in another format. And also, there's going to be the problem with it. You want to watch it in Japanese, right?
Yeah, that's how I watch it. And that's on the the digital track on the Japanese. I think it's flipped on the US version. I think the Japanese is on the analog track.
Is there a bunch of cursing in the? I don't remember on the LaserDisc.
Yeah, there's cursing on that guy. Character Bato, he swears a lot. He calls a guy a dickhead, and there's some F-bombs, I think.
I don't know enough about it, but the 4K, and I've watched it a few times. When I watched the 4K disc here this week, there was a lot of cursing I don't remember from the Japanese or the English soundtrack on that box set.
They were really going for because that was kind of one of the highest profile anime releases. James Cameron's pimping it, and they were really pushing the "this is for adults" thing, especially with the English dub. I mean, I don't know if the Japanese one has enough Japanese curses to match, but it was definitely seemed like they were going out of their way to drop some swears.
Does anyone know, is the 4K, is that the same sound, it's the same English dub as the LaserDisc?
I haven't actually checked it out yet because I've been meaning to. Yeah.
I want to say it's not, but I don't know enough about it.
I mean, that was one of those dubs that has a lot of exposition that can easily kind of wash over you. Like that's like a kind of trope in anime titles that like nonstop. So you see, this is the thing I was thinking about when I was thinking about the thing, and I'm still thinking about whether I'm human or not, or if I'm just a robot and there's a brain inside my body, but a body inside my brain. So I'm thinking I should put this gun down and shoot this guy, and it just keeps going on and on. So there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Get ready, Seth.
All right. So, but I might. So, where did you get that 4K disc, Peter? Is it a US release or
Just came out?
Yeah, it just came out in the US. Cheap one too. It was like $14.99, I think.
Yeah, it's
nice,
wicked cheap. There's like a couple of. There's like a nice. Is it Steelbook or I've seen like a really nice version.
Somebody said there's a Steelbook. I haven't.
Yeah.
Sure, Best Buy has a $50 Steelbook.
But the box set's nice. Thanks, Ryan.
Oh, no problem. I'm glad that the box survived.
It did. I'll actually put an overlay picture of the what the postal service did to the box Ryan sent me.
You had me super worried when you sent me the photo, and I'm like, oh no.
It looks like someone drove a forklift over the corner of it and then just kind of backed off. That's kind of the look.
They didn't tear it open in the rain, though. Thank God.
No.
They didn't.
Ryan, when you should be able to throw it off a roof if you're going to pack it.
I did, and then they forklift. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But every disc worked fine, all four sides or whatever. So it's fantastic. It's got a cool making of in there, but all Japanese for that. So sorry.
So what are you gonna watch, Maxeene?
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Oh, Race on the Moon. Damn, I haven't seen that in ages.
It's a little slow.
This I haven't seen this, and I was planning on watching this, but I didn't. I watched a lot of other Cage films, and this one I didn't have enough time to watch all of them. So, but I watched the trailer for this, and it looked interesting. So I'm excited to see this. Hopefully, it's good. I mean, it's young Cage, so
yeah,
nothing wrong with young Cage.
80s-tastic looking jacket there.
Yeah.
Cool.
What are you gonna watch, Peter?
I've been up since 4 a.m. I'm going to spin myself into bed. I'll be up early tomorrow picking out some Criterion to watch.
Shout out to Peter's Laser Cat, by the way. We haven't had a Laser Cat mention.
Yeah.
She's been chilling there the whole episode.
That spider, she gets locked down. This is kitty jail in the basement. She gets locked up down here. Otherwise, she comes and tries to sleep with us, and she's very, very demanding cat. So in the middle of the night, it's like she doesn't know where our room is, so she'll just start wailing, meowing, like at midnight. Like, how do you not know where we're at? We're in the same place every single night. And my wife has to call her, and then she'll come to bed and sleep. It's the weirdest thing. So that's why she's trapped down here with me.
Kitty jail.
Vince, I can't imagine you're going to spin anything anytime soon, are you?
Tonight. Well, you know what? I stumbled on The Prisoner, which I'd never seen and always wanted to.
What? You never watched The Prisoner?
No. I always kept waiting and waiting, and I don't know what I was waiting for. And then I somehow landed on it through searching for something else, and it was on one of the free services, Tubi or one of them. I'm like, let me just start it. And so I watched like 15, 20 minutes, and it was great. And I could see all the stuff that it's influenced, and it's all there, So I might finish one of those episodes tonight. But the next disc I'll watch, like I said, will be THX.
I just want to say to you, Vince, real quick, just everything you probably have in your mind for when the kids get older and leave and it's empty nest, it's every bit as good as you imagine.
Yeah. Just got to get there.
And it's really good when you do it at like 46 too.
Right. It's beyond, now it's like they're just piling on by having us do remote learning. It's like, it's just,
You don't even get the break during the day then.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Man, all right. Well, hopefully everyone enjoys their views, and hopefully everybody enjoyed watching us answer their questions and talk about Nicolas Cage, the finest actor in American film history. I think that's real, right? That's legit.
Emmy Award winner.
Yeah.
Enemy Award winner. No, and Emmy, and he won an Oscar for that film, Honeymoon in Vegas, was it? Right?
No, that was the prequel.
Oh yeah, sorry, Leaving Las Vegas. Yeah. So there you go. He's a very important actor. So what's coming up next? We have any special? It's coming up to October. I think we're going to do some spooky stuff coming up soon. So
get ready, kids. All October, we might stay on topic.
Nice little teaser there for you. So, and hopefully we'll have some more special guests at some point too. Well, we're working, making the show a little zazzier. Yeah, you want Remus? We'll see if we can get
Remus.
Uncle Remus. Yeah,
I want Remus.
All right, you heard it here first. We'll see if we can make it a reality for you, Peter. So cool. All right. Well, hopefully everyone has a kick-ass weekend, and keep spinning those laser discs.